Podcast League now. Starring the Casablanca Kid. He turns good taste into bad. Movie hero. He has a stutter, but he's smooth like butter. And Pez, with the ability to Pez.
And welcome everyone to the Movie Hero Network. This is Podcast League Now. We do have a 3-person panel tonight, but I'm the only one that's in the video. But that's okay, because I got two good friends that if I knew how to do any kind of editing, I would have put them in the video, but I'm not very good at editing software, hence why we're live right now. But here
I'll play Chris. Richie will play Chris.
All right, so JPO, you pick all good movies and put them on your worst list from this year, and Richie, Jordan, you just make sure you
Oppenheimer.
Just tell don't put any movies in there. All movies with people speaking in rooms, and then you put all that on your list. But no, two honorary members of Podcast League now, as always. Richie Goodacre, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, this is overall I think it was a pretty good year in film, but yeah, there's still plenty to choose from, especially. Look, streaming always comes through with the bad. I find a lot of these are from streaming.
Yes.
And even this year, even though we've only just started this year, no exception. Hopefully that's not a trend, but man, I've seen some shit already. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Speaking of list.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of bad streaming movies, he watches a lot of them. JPO, Jordan Owens, how's it going? He watches them, so you don't have to.
I do indeed. So you've also seen Night Swim? Cool. But yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll see if that makes the 10 later. I don't think it will, actually. So I haven't seen anything too bad in 24, but I saw plenty in 23.
That's 2024.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying to Richie, he's like, I already seen some shit this year, is what he said.
Oh, yeah, no. I started out with 2 bad horror movies, so that's, one may make the list next year, one may not. I don't know. It depends on what else comes out this year.
Watch the Amazon classic that just came out, Role Play, with Kaylee Cuoco and David Oyelowo. That's not great. Anyway.
Yeah, but that's very inoffensively not worse, though.
I know.
It's never make the top 10.
Yeah.
It's just fine. It's another fine streamer.
But how it's going to work tonight, this will work just kind of like a best of list. We're going to do a top 12 of each of our worst. How it's going to work is we'll go around the horn. Everybody will start with their number 12. If somebody has it at least 2 or more spots higher, just say we need to punt that till later. We will punt that till later and talk about it when it gets to its highest spot on somebody's list. But if you just have it like 1 spot away, we can talk about that then. But first, we will start out with, we got to call it dishonorable mentions. So we can talk about some dishonorable mentions. Anything that maybe just scooted out of that list, we'll go around the horn. If everybody's got a couple, Richie, what you got? Any dishonorable mentions?
Yeah, I know people seem to like this one. I didn't. No, I still think it's a franchise needs to die. Fast X. Didn't like it.
Wow.
Didn't like it. I think I like Jason Statham. Not Jason. Jason Statham's in it, but not more. I like Jason Momoa, but he doesn't. He looks like it's a different movie. We have a ghost. We have a bad movie. Is what you have.
Yeah, easily Landon's worse. I agree. I like
Christopher Landon.
Yeah, you can't believe it's directed by the same guy who did Happy Death Day and Freaky. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for that,
I kind of believe it. I just think it's just worse.
Right.
I would have been happy that he was directing a Scream, but then he had We Have a Ghost.
Yeah, you're not coming off a high.
Thanks for tuning in, Jordan. I know you're probably at the hotel right now down in the Bahamas, but thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that.
Another one I know JPO liked, but it was very divisive, and I just couldn't get into it. You People, which I was looking forward to, with Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill. No, I thought it was trying too hard to be kind of. I thought it was just a movie trying too hard, and there wasn't as many laughs as I wanted it to be. And I watched it for this. And I didn't put it on the list because it's not a movie that's just marketed for me. But I watched On a Wing and a Prayer
Hey, I might have that on my honorable mention list. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, given the the actors involved and whatnot, yeah, it's a very bad movie. Very, very bad. So, all right, fair enough. JPO, I know you got a couple. You've seen plenty of stuff this year. What you got on your? What just skirted out of your list here?
We got the baker with the poor boy.
Oh, I saw that in theaters, boy. I saw that in the theater.
You know we had a rocky theater year when this and another dishonorable mention, The Retirement Plan with Nicolas Cage, also dishonorable mention. Both these movies actually kind of similar in
very
story
similar.
too. Yeah, I didn't like either one. They very much are the epitome of what should have been direct to DVD, somehow getting a little bit of a theater run.
Mm-hmm.
One Day as a Lion, which is a Scott Conn movie, both starring and directing, I believe. And yeah, it's very kind of meh ending that really left you kind of dry. You don't believe the main couple in it, so not a big fan of that. Dishonorable, not quite in the 10, just because I feel like I had some sort of fun riff tracksing it, and it's at least an enjoyable bad watch. Is our lovely Hypnotic.
Well, we'll punt that for later, but not too much later. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
I didn't quite do it. Like I said, I had some bad fun with it. And like where they feel like it was just bad. Run Rabbit Run, another I don't know who had it, Prime or Shudder, horror film that again just kind of confusing and just kind of dry and not in a good fun way. And again, speaking of bad horror, wasn't a fan of the new Pet Cemetery. Also, just kind of whatever.
Yeah, I didn't make that one a priority. I would have probably gotten to it, but then again, I was like, am I really missing out on anything? Probably not. Yeah. So, yeah, a couple ones for me. That really only skirted out who some of these were actually on my list earlier that I did with you, JPO, on the countdown. Yeah, just skirted out because I saw worse things throughout the year that just bumped it. When we talked about a lot, Shotgun Wedding, bad movie with unlikable characters. A lot of movies ending with weddings this year, and a lot of them were bad. So really weird trend. Movies that end with an unearned, wedding scene. Bad characters, bad dialogue, the whole shebang. On a Wing and a Prayer is a very bad movie. Dennis Quaid, Heather Graham. Subplots that go nowhere, really shoehorned in, kind of Christian message, really bad stuff. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania just skirts the list just because I saw worse stuff this year, but it was in there for a little while. But yeah, bad CGI, really messy story. Just felt like it got chopped up. And the worst thing maybe in a movie this year of what's the goddamn MODOK. MODOK was horrible, absolutely horrible. One of the worst things of any movie this year. Ghosted, the Apple movie with Anya de Armas and Chris Evans, very, very bad. Action movie with anti-chemistry between the leads, where they just have
how ineffective that movie is. I forgot that movie existed.
Right. Well, rightfully so. Bad finale, the whole shebang. The Liam Neeson movie Retribution, which I almost forgot I saw until I was putting my list together. Talk about bland. This might be one of his worst ones ever. Just really bad. Bland premise. He looks like he's sleepwalking through it. Not very good. And I didn't end up putting it in my top 12 just because I don't know. I didn't want to pick on it too much, but Skinamarink is a very bad movie that some people are way too high on because it's like weirdly experimental. The fact that Rolling Stone put it as their top horror movie of the year made me tempted to put it in my top 12, but since it's only a $10,000 student film, essentially, I left it alone. So there you go. All right, so that's our dishonorable mentions. We will get to our actual list this evening, and we'll just kind of go clockwise around the horn. So, Richie, if you would like to kick us off with your official number 12.
Cool. I feel like we're going to have a lot of punts here, but we'll see what happens.
We might. We'll see.
Number 12. Again, one that came out at the start of the year. I'm like, this year's not going to turn out great. Luckily, it did turn out great. I mean, but not really for streaming. Number 12, and I got around to it later for this list. Number 12, House Party.
Put that till later.
Okay, I would say small pun for me, but yeah, full pun for me.
I've got it punted further, so we'll save that. We'll save that. But we'll go to JPO then and see what you got at your number 12.
Well, let's not. What did that come out on? What even streaming did that come out on?
That was
House
Party.
Well, House Party was theatrical, but then it's on Max right now.
Oh, that's right. It was theatrical.
It was just on Amazon for us, but yeah, it was theatrical.
Yeah, it did come out in theaters.
I assumed it was a streamer.
Now, his follow-up, the White Man Can't Jump remake, was straight to Hulu.
That's maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
maybe that's what
but no, House Party was in theaters in January. Yeah,
we're sticking with Hulu though. Talking about Broken Lizards, Quasi, anybody?
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
I didn't see it. I know it's on people's list. I know of it.
It's definitely at the end of the list because there's a couple chuckles here. I like Broken Lizard here. I like him just a little bit. Like I think outside of Super Troopers and maybe Beer Fest, like Simon Salmon's okay. Club Dreads is kind of okay for me. But this is their newest one, kind of old age modern or whatever you call that. The jokes I just don't think land, and it really is just kind of a fine, forgettable, less than fine, forgettable comedy movie from the Broken Lizard group.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I avoided it because I heard not so great things about it. And Broken Lizard, I love like Beer Fest and the Super Troopers movies are fine. I'm not as high on as other people are, but yeah, everything else has been very hit or miss, and I did not hear favorable things, so I just didn't get around to it that quickly.
I started watching Tacoma PD, FD,
Yeah.
That's decent.
I think maybe the problem is to a degree, because I agree. Maybe just better in 20-minute.
Of course you did, Jordan.
Maybe just better in 20-minute increments, because I also like Tacoma FD, and that star is actually the same dude. He's kind of the lead of Quasi, he's the leader of Tacoma. And yeah, I think maybe they're just better in like nice little 20-minute doses, get in and out instead of trying to drag along a full story.
Well, you're on the same page with Malcolm, at least, JP.
I know. Barber's with me on this. Yeah, Barber's probably higher than me on this.
Yeah,
we can elaborate on this, but I did this weird thing where I'm like, you know how you do, that role play show. I was thinking of like who would I cast to play like us, like especially the Lonely Marks, and I actually put JPO Kevin Heffen. I'm like, he'd appreciate that. Kevin Heffen's funny dude. So
yeah, I guess. Thanks, Richie.
I don't know. He's a funny guy. He looked like him.
I thought you know what I thought you were going to say that would have been funnier. I was watching Roleplay and I thought David Oyelowo as Jordan. Interesting choice.
Yeah, right.
Kaylee
Kuko as Pez.
Right. I mean, hey, it's not far off. All right. I'll go to my number 12. It did end up making it on my list, but I'm putting it at number 12 because I can also have the fun aspect to it, and as most people know, it is my favorite bad movie of the year. I'll talk about Hypnotic.
Punt
that. All right, sounds good. All right, so we will punt Hypnotic till later. Already with some punts to start off here. So Richie, we'll go back around to then your number 11.
All right, number 11. I just thought it good. Great premise. I didn't think she did much with it. My number 11, unfortunately, Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
I was like, oh, cool, Cocaine Bear. It's a super premise that you can't fuck up. It's just, I felt like I like Elizabeth Banks as an actress. I think she's great. I don't think she's really hit it as a director. I think the problem with this movie is the directing and the decision making, and I feel like it focuses way too much on the kind of the dialogue between the human characters. You barely see. I mean, I feel like you don't see enough of the bear doing all the cool hijinks, and then I feel like also if it's a crime comedy you're going for, I feel like the majority of the people the bear should probably go after are the kind of the less sympathetic characters, but he's just going through and he's just mauling innocent people as well. It makes it feel a bit weird, but I don't know. I mean, there are funny moments, and that's why it's sort of low. But I wanted it to be better. A movie called Cocaine Bear should be a lot more fun than it actually ended up being.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I guess movies like this and Ant-Man, I'd put more in the disappointing category than I do for worse. I think there's way worse than Cocaine Bear. I had enough fun where I'm like, it's okay though.
I'm in the same camp as JPO. It just skirts out of there. It's 5 out of 10 territory for me because I didn't think it had a couple of well executing scenes, like the scene where he's chasing the ambulance. I thought was a pretty good.
Yeah,
scene,
the ambulance is kind of dope.
Yeah, that stuff was pretty good. I at least liked some of the stuff some of the characters are doing. I liked O'Shea Jackson in the movie. Like I thought he was pretty good. He kind of knew what movie he was in. But the two kids are in a different movie. The other tourist guy was in a different movie. The what's her name? The park ranger chick, she was in some other movie. Yeah, tonally it was all over the place. It either needed for me to lean hevier into silly or heavier into horror.
The one kid that's with him for a while too, I thought was funny from what I remember too.
Yeah. Ray Liotta's in one other movie this year that might come up in a little bit.
Paradise, which is
Ray Liotta. He passed away and he had a bad year. He had a bad
final year. Yeah.
Piss on his grave, Richie.
We're not pissing on him. It was just the movies he was in for his final thing. Yeah, that's not his fault. He's perfectly fine in both of those movies.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So that is Richie's 11. JPO, what is your 11?
Oh yeah, back to me already. Let's see, what do I got?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Well, I guess we're gonna punt it because it's house party for me.
Okay, well, we're still punting that, so yeah, because I've got it further down. So we'll punt that and talk about it when we get to mine. So yeah, my number 11 will be also in the big disappointment category, but also I kind of knew it was coming and it lived up to all my low expectations. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Punt.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So there you go. All right. Well, we punted those, so we're making good progress here. We're already number 10 for Richie. Like I said, some crossover sure to happen on these.
There'll be
lists,
more talking later. Yeah.
Yes, there will be way more talking later. But Richie, all right, we'll move on to your number 10.
Again, this might be the more disappointing category, but like I don't know. I feel like because I know it's a movie that I think it would be hard to film, but again, I don't feel like they, what we got is I just think it was just minimal effort, and I think they could have explored more, and I think maybe they're hampered by a low rate, the low rating. I'm gonna my number 10 is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Wow. Okay.
The premise of Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty cool. I like it, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think it hurt the fact like the Five Nights at Freddy's like would work if it was like fully R. I think the PG-13 rating actually hurt the movie.
I disagree with that. Yeah, I disagree.
You'd be hurting your audience. Your audience is young, unfortunately.
You got to cater to the preteens and the teens that play the game.
That's who bought tickets, and it made money, kind of disproving your point.
Yeah, that's why it made $70 million opening weekend. Yeah,
I don't know. I found it boring. I think was it what's his name? The dude from Hunger Games.
Josh Hutcherson.
Josh Hutcherson. I thought he was sleepwalking through the movie. I like the general premise. I just think they could have done more with it. I don't know. I just like tonally sometimes it felt a bit off. Look, it was one of the few. It's sad in the state of cinema where it's one of the few movies that made a hell of money. So we're going to get more of these because and sure,
this year, I believe they're trying to fast track it for this year.
that worries me. But we'll see.
Saw cranks them out that fast.
If they were smart, that script was probably already done. So it's really
okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sort of lowish because I know if you play the game, it's a hard game to. I'm surprised when I heard this movie was announced. I'm like, all right, out of all the video games, it's popular, but it's a hard game to put to film.
Look at Angry Birds; they're not thinking about premise; they're just thinking about what sells.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it'd be like I don't know if you've ever played the game called is it Angry Neighbor or Bad Neighbor? Like it'd be like doing that.
Dude, if there's not an Angry Neighbor game the next 3 years, I'd be surprised. Or video. I really genuinely would be surprised.
Yeah.
I'd just be down for that, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Like maybe you're talking me around, but I just didn't. I didn't enjoy it.
Because we won the debate. We got.
All right, point goes to JPO. All right, you know what? He makes some fancy counter arguments, and I'm gonna say it's not a bad movie. No,
weirdly enough, I kind of agree that I think it's in the overrated category because I do find this again to be like almost a 2.5, 3 out of 5 kind of thing. But yeah, I do think that unfortunately, I agree. I prefer a more hard-rated R movie, but I also understand that that's just simply not what this is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't know. I just like Josh Hutcherson is just bored throughout the movie. I don't know. Maybe
I think that's also the way that character was written. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah, but he's also written to be a guy who's his thing is he keeps falling asleep at work and he's overworked and he's like working.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's how the character's written.
That's how the character is.
Fun. Yeah.
I think that's what he's supposed to be doing, but
that's what I'm not blaming. Like you can blame the characters if the character's not fun. I'm just saying I wouldn't necessarily blame him.
Mine's in like that 5 out of 10 territory, kind of like Cocaine Bear, to where it's like there's things I appreciate about it. I appreciate they use a lot of practical effects. A lot of the animatronic stuff was real, so they used a lot of real stuff. I like the set design was pretty dead on, like spot on, like as far as the main set of that movie. I liked all the stuff when he was actually in the place. To me, the stuff that didn't work was the flashback stuff or the dream sequences. Like I didn't like any of that stuff. The storyline was weird. That should have been his daughter, not his sister. That's weird. And then the custody thing would make more sense if it was his daughter, not his sister. That's very strange. Like I don't know why it can't just be his daughter. He's old enough to where it could be his daughter. So that's weird.
It got all very convoluted in that way. It was just like it was very I don't know, like very kind of like it got very Inception all of a sudden. Or very like dream city.
So I mean, again, I didn't get all the lore stuff because I didn't play. I know very, very little. I've watched like one playthrough of one of the games or something. That's really it. So apparently the fans of that game, and obviously with the box office, really like that movie. They seem to be very happy with the movie. So that's what matters. They cater to the fans. It paid off. That movie made more than the Marvels. Like that should say something, like that movie was a big hit and it only cost $25 million. I mean, that movie was a big hit for them. So, hey, good for them. Yeah, it's not really my bag. I thought Willy's Wonderland, the Nick Cage movie, did it better. I like that movie a lot as like a kind of a grindhouse movie, midnight movie. I like it as a piece of schlock, but yeah, I can understand that. But all right, we'll move over to JPO for your number 10.
I'm sorry. I always have a hard time pronouncing this. Expendables?
Expendables? Okay. All right. Yeah. I guess go ahead. Yeah.
I guess you can talk more than anybody else.
Yeah.
This is disappointing. This was bad. This was just.
I'm gonna try to spell it out properly in the actual thing I'm making. Yeah, I think there's the 4 right in there. Expend 4 balls. Yeah, right.
Because you can't just put 4 at the end. You got to be cool on the poster. I was always a little trepidatious for this movie because the thing I like about Expendables is that usually they have a fun new cast member, a cool villain, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mel Gibson. Hey, look, Terry Crews is having some fun. We got Jet Li. We got Wesley Snipes. You got none of that. They threw in 50 Cent.
Megan Fox.
They, you know what I mean? They lost Terry Crews. They lost Jet Li. They still got Randy Couture. I mean, just you're missing everything here.
Terry Crews. Even Terry Crews was too busy.
Crews is out. Jet Li's out. Wesley Snipes is not back. Banderas is not back. And also, too, spoiler / non-spoiler, the end Stallone credit. He is indeed not in it that much. This is definitely Statham's movie. Unfortunately, between this and Meg, he didn't have a great year. Operation Fortune was okay. And so was, I think Fast 10 was actually kind of okay too. So 2-4 is not great at at all.
But again, he's barely in that movie.
Not great. I'm just simply naming stuff that he was in, Richie, off my back. This is the epitome of just obvious green screen too. You can tell it's shot on a stage instead of, in an actual location here. You don't care about the goal here. There's a stupid twist at the end that's unnecessary. And you're just missing all the fun, that you have. Statham's fine, but again, he's the kind of character that at least the way it's written, it's not enough to save this movie by any means. So Expendables.
Yeah, it just missed my list only because I think I still had fun with some of the action, just because I'm such a Jason Statham fan that the middle part of that movie where it's just him being the one-man army and taking everybody out and trying to save everybody, I had enough fun with that. Like, just at least when I saw it, I thought that was enough. Like, being kind of a diehard movie with Statham, like I thought was okay enough. I thought Tony Jaa at least was trying to have some fun in some of his scenes. But yeah, I mean, he's wasted. Iko Uwais, from The Raid is like the villain, but they don't use him. Like it's kind of like how they used him in Mile 22. Like it's like what?
Yeah,
why are you gonna have
the
him?
way he's been used.
Yeah, if you're gonna have him, but not have him like do anything significant, because I was looking forward to that. I was like, because I still don't think anybody's using him properly outside of the 2 Raid movies, which is disappointing. And yeah, the Stallone thing was just weird, which I had a suspicion about as well. But like the other way he's used is just odd, given the fact that it's his franchise. It was his idea. He directed the first one. I mean, it's like, what are we doing? So you can't even be bothered to be in it?
Was he busy for Tulsa King? I don't know.
Yeah, what were you busy to do to where you couldn't be in your own franchise movie? That's weird.
He doesn't want to be in his own movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just like, it's a thing for him lately. I mean, I understand why he wouldn't want, like his character's not much in like, in Creed, whatever, but like it's like, I don't know that, but I don't really understand him stepping away from like Expendables. Like if you don't want to be an Expendables,
you read the script.
If you don't want to make an Expendables movie, or if you don't like the script of the Expendables movie, don't make an Expendables. No one is. I don't think anyone is crying out for a fourth one after
it's not. I don't think he's the one that was pushing for hard for a fourth one. I think the studio was like, "Oh, we can still milk this."
Yeah, no, I imagine it might be a Tulsa King thing too. I'm sure it was or something. Yeah, something to do with that. But I also, the Megan Fox thing. I don't buy Megan Fox as like some special forces like thing. No, not at all. Like not even for a second. Like I can suspend my disbelief to certain movies for certain things, but if she was like the damsel in distress, fine. But like, the leader of this like special forces team, absolutely no way, no way, no how.
And if you think of like female like action stuff, we've got like really you chose Megan Fox over people like you couldn't get like I don't know, I'm just throwing one out there like Charlize Theron, who's been in action films.
You know what I think? Again, I think this is the reason there's no Jet Li. There's a reason there's no Mel Gibson or Jean-Claude Van Damme, no Harrison Ford. I don't think they could afford fucking anybody this first. You know what I mean? I really do.
Budget. Yeah, it could be.
There's no Arnie. There's no Ford. There's no cool villain. Like, I really think they went super fucking cheap for this. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really do.
Yeah. So, no, it makes sense. Yeah, I didn't have it on mine, but I'm not far away from you. So, all right. So I'll go to my number 10, which is The Nun 2. Did any of you guys even see it?
I think
yeah, you go. I skipped it, so yeah.
I feel like this is my Expendables in this case. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that far from you.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean,
couple cool sequences made it lower. Yeah.
To me, it's like the first movie sucked. Like, why do we even bother like making another one? And then, of course, you look at the box office and you go, "Oh, because it made $200 million." Okay, so I guess that's why it cost $15 million to make. Okay, I'm just so over these Conjuring movies. I'm done with the Conjuring expanded universe. They're all exactly the same movie over and over and over again, just in different settings. I'm just so done with these movies. This movie. Literally, exactly when they're going to do the fake out, loud noise, jump scare, whatever. Like they telegraph it to a T. You can call you can almost do a countdown. You watch this movie, you can go and jump scare in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump scare. It's boring. There's nothing interesting about it. I think the Nun was perfectly fine as like a side character in that Conjuring movie. And it's like, I don't think it's scary enough to explain too much. But yeah, it's just a really, really cheap horror movie that looks bad, is acted bad, and it's just boring. So we might talk about more boring horror movies too later in this list. But the Nun.
I just think it's baffling that they're doing all these like spin-offs of side characters, and they still haven't done the Crooked Man, which is the best side. That was the best side character.
Probably the creepiest one out of that movie. Yeah,
which I thought was.
That's what people thought they were going to do, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they couldn't crank out a $20 million Crooked Man movie with somebody because all these other movies are cheap. So yeah, anything JPO you saw it or you just gonna far off?
No, I mean kind of like you said, this was a necessary sequel. I know there's a couple cool moments you kind of see them in the trailer though, you know what I mean. So other than that, it's just kind of jump scare palooza. Maybe sometimes I think if I kind of nothing it, sometimes it kind of gets a kind of away from me than when I actually really hate a movie because I just kind of nothing it at the end of the day,
Yeah, for sure. All right, well that was quick and easy. So we'll go to Richie and your number 9.
Got a feeling I'm going to get punted, but we'll see. That sounds violent. Number 9, Shotgun Wedding.
Well, I had it in the dishonorables, but
Yeah. Well,
is it on your actual list, JP, or no?
No. It's in mine. I think it's 9. So yeah, we're good.
Okay,
I'll just
do you both
piggyback
literally
here.
have it at 9?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing them down at the same time. So okay, sounds good.
Oh no,
Okay,
I guess.
so both 9.
well,
But yeah, we got.
You froze there for a second. What did you say?
Yeah, 9.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
it's
So
9.
okay. So
I'm looking at my list, so it's like 100 something. So I get confused.
Yeah.
What it was.
All right. So both of you guys, can get it going on shotgun winning. All right.
yeah. I actually like, you know, I mean, I started this movie a while ago, but I just finished it like just before we got on stream. Yeah, like Pez mentioned, there's a lot of movies where it's like, I feel like maybe people have. I mean, romantic comedies have even been my favorite subgenre, but like there's some great. A lot of the great ones are like couples who have, a good ingredient for a romantic comedy to work is if the characters have good chemistry. And you see the theme on here where I don't think, like the characters had good chemistry at all. They clearly hate each other. How did they even meet and spark fly to begin with? They bicker throughout the whole movie. And then I think the only like redeeming quality is like Jennifer Coolidge is kind of funny, but that's like I feel like that's usually the case with a lot of the movies she chooses. Is she's always in not great movies, but she's all right in them. Just a whole bunch of bickering. The action is like sort of there's less focus on the action when the action's happening, and it's to do silly one-liners that don't land. Lenny Kravitz is kind of interesting as a bad dude. I want to see more Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz is a bad guy. Yes. I don't know. Just like they'll just. I think like JLo thought that she had to be over the top there because that's what that's what comedy is. You're going to be over the top, and like, I don't know. And then I was like, I feel like is all the scripts that Josh Duhamel gets it across his desk, like romantic comedies. I don't think honestly, I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I've seen it. I'm sure he's a good guy, but I don't think I've seen him in a movie where I'm like, who was really good in that? Josh Duhamel.
Love Simon, and then you're right.
Okay, because, but yeah,
got one.
Okay.
I'm not get. And apparently, Transformers 4.
Apparently, they did some research. He's not their first choice. It was written to Ryan Reynolds, who's actually the executive producer on this movie. And then
Ryan was busy.
And then when Ryan couldn't do it, and then it was Army Hammer, and I wonder what happened there.
No, Malcolm literally, as soon as you said that, he had already submitted. Army Hammer initially. There you go. Yeah, okay. All right.
But I don't know. I don't I don't want to spend 90 minutes. Actually, this movie felt a bit overly long too, because I don't like spending like an hour and a half or however long it is with unlikable characters. This also just felt like a kind of a shittier version of a movie that's not even that great. That that one that came out last year, The Lost City, with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
Between these two and Ghosted, I'm scared of like action rom-coms lately.
Yeah.
Like I'm even afraid for Fall Guy, to be honest with you. Like I don't know.
I want to say Fall Guy at least has a decent director behind him. Am I wrong? Or
true.
I'm trying to remember who it was.
I'm just saying,
I've seen the trailer. I'm trying to remember. I've seen the trailer
it's the
1,000 times. I
Deadpool David Leitch dude.
Oh, David Leitch. So at least the action should be good.
Yeah, Bullet Train.
Right.
I was saying those three make me scared for the genre.
Yeah, right. No, I hear you. So JPO, anything else on shotgun weddings? You
Oh
also had
yeah,
number 9?
no, man. Kind of what Richie said here, man. I mean, I don't even blame necessarily Duhamel. I don't necessarily think he did bad or any worse than maybe Reynolds could have done. Maybe Reynolds at least would have been more likable. I don't know, but like, yeah, you kind of shoehorned right into just a lot of bickering, some okay action, like even Jennifer Coolidge, like she's not really doing anything differently. She's being herself, which can get a chuckle maybe, but even that is just kind of shoehorned in, basic jokes. And yeah, it's just another bad rom com that we had from these two. Makes you yearn for the days of Marry Me. Even that was more watchable.
Yeah, no, I had it in the dishonorables because I just saw a few worse things. But yeah, I mean, two characters you just don't buy for a second that when they actually get married at the end, you're like, no, you've been screaming at each other the entire movie.
Yeah.
You hate each other's
I would have been
guts.
okay if the end was like, we decided to be friends. Now let's get off this island.
Right.
I don't even know if they could be friends.
Dude, Josh Duhamel's completely ignoring
It's
her
what you say.
when she's obviously seducing him with like boy shorts on. Like, what is the like? If you're just completely ignoring her at that point, that marriage has no hope whatsoever, like none. And yeah.
He also admits that he chose to be on this to have the wedding on this island when he found out that pirates invaded it like last summer. I'm like, what a you fucking dick.
Hey,
Yeah.
you save money where you can, all right? Don't save
Yeah, they got a discount. It's like when somebody dies in a house and then it gets very discounted,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, it's the same idea. All right. So well, that was JPO's number 9 as well. So we'll go to my number 8, which is the Disney remake of The Little Mermaid.
Rant away.
All right, so The Little Mermaid. Again, I saw this movie and it just kind of, as a huge fan of the '89 Little Mermaid, I've talked about how this movie somehow adds 45 minutes to the runtime and yet misses key points of the plot, misses key character development that the 82-minute movie did better. I think every change they made is incorrect and only hurts the movie. So every change they make is wrong. It's soulless and lifeless, just like some of the other recent ones, like the Lion King remake and whatnot, to where everything is just hard to look at. The effects are not particularly great. Sebastian is nightmare fuel. Flounder does not look good. Oh my God, Aquafina's scuttlebutt is one of the other worst things in a movie this year. It's horrible. You cut out one of the best scenes. You made it longer and yet still cut out the chef scene, which I don't know. If you're going to cut something out, don't cut that out. that scene is good in the original movie and might have actually saved a little bit of the second half for me. But yeah, it's a chore to get through. It's a bore. And again, just soulless and lifeless. I won't rant too much about it because I did a whole Battleground discussion show where we talked about that movie, and I ran it for like 30 minutes and almost went scene by scene through that movie as to what they did wrong. So you can go back into the archives over on TMG Entertainment and find that and find me ranting about it for a half an hour. But Little Mermaid's not good. It was quite infuriating. So we don't want to get copyrighted for that shit. Turn it off. God damn it. I'm not getting copyrighted because of that goddamn song. She's not going to ruin another one of my shows.
Aquafina says haunting you dreams.
Haunting my life and getting into every movie and
we bought a ghost and it was Aquafina.
Did you at least like her though? I thought she did good. The main chick.
Who are you talking to?
The mermaid.
Who are you talking to?
The mermaid. You with the movie.
Oh, Halle Bailey? I mean, again, it's the same thing everybody else says. She can sing, but I don't think she has much personality in that movie. She has no chemistry.
She's solid for half of it.
She has no chemistry with the Prince guy, like at all. Like there's nothing there, and you don't buy it. I mean, she can sing, but that's all she's got. Like in a vacuum, sure, it's fine. But even there's character decisions when she is singing that don't make sense with the story. Like in the Under the Sea sequence, for example, she sings along with the song, which is not the point of the sequence. They're trying to entice her to get her excited about being under the sea, and she wants nothing to do with it in the original. That's the whole point. So she's ignoring it most of the time. And in this one, she's excitedly singing with them.
Well, again,
that's not the point of the sequence.
That's not her fault.
I know that's a script thing. I understand that, but it's yeah. Again, I'm not completely like against her in general. I don't have a problem with that. It's just the entire movie around it just bugs me the wrong way. So, yeah, I did not like it. So yeah, yeah. Top 10 is a weird. If you got that movie in your top 10, you just see
Oh,
more
well,
movies this
that's
year.
the person that's the person that saw like 14 movies.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. All right, so my number 8 was The Little Mermaid. Richie, we'll go to your number 8.
Number 8, yeah. My number 8, again, I think we.
Oh wait a minute, I skipped something. I completely skipped one of mine because of my thing. Oh fuck, I ruined. I'll go back to it. Never mind. Go ahead.
All right, cool.
I listed my number 8 and I forgot to give my number 9. So my bad. We'll go back to my number 9.
I thought, yeah, that's right.
No, the way I've got it written out, it was like the list was complete already on that line because I already pre-wrote out all
we
mine.
had number 9, and then you.
Yeah, no, I fucked it up, but that's okay.
That's all right. You do number 9, and then we'll get back to the
So that's fine.
Oh, good. Number 8. My number 8 is like look. I think we all had fun with it, but I have to put it somewhere. Hypnotic.
Okay.
Hypnotic. Look, there's is one of those hilariously bad movies while my dog eats my pillow. God damn it.
Again.
Yeah.
At the road. What are you doing?
Yeah. This is like look, there's like fun to be had in this movie. The sheer like disjointedness of the movie, the sheer like the sheer like incoherence of the movie, the weird plot. The weird plot twist. However, there is a big stretch of time in this movie where it's just boring as shit. And so I got to get considered for that. Like Ben Affleck is just checked out. Yeah, it feels like an action movie like 2003. And if you research it, it's like Robert Rodriguez tried to get this made in 2003.
Yeah, he wrote the script in 2003, and it feels like it. Oh yeah,
it checks. Ben Affleck. I feel bad for Ben Affleck. I like Ben Affleck, but I feel like every time he has a hit, like he can't get excited about it because look in his face like, oh yeah, don't get too excited. I've got a shit movie in the can that's coming out later. I can't get on a roll here. He's sleeping through this movie. He's doing a Christian Bale Batman impression for some reason. Alice Braga is not great in this movie. There's just weird choices, and at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know what I just watched. I don't know what the point of this movie is. So yeah. I don't know. It is one where you can sit down and have like a fun bad watch, but there is definitely stretches where it's like nothing happens. So yeah, I have to put it somewhere. Not
yeah, JPO, you had it on the honorables down there.
I did know it's disjointed, and here's a sentence I've never said out loud, and I'm not proud to say it. I do think Affleck knows at a certain point what movie he's in, and it is checked out. The way he's delivering it sometimes in like the jail sequences where it's just they're trying to explain the lore and everything. I just look at his face. I'm like, oh no, you realize what you were in, weren't you? At one point, because again, me and my brother had the theater alone, so we were able to kind of riff tracks it, which made it more fun. But at one point, I say something, and my brother goes, he's like, no, that's too dumb. We're not going to do that. And then 2 minutes later, they did exactly what I said, almost as a joke. It tries to shoehorn in a sequel, which is also just funny in its own right. When you're like, no, this is not good. Don't try to shoehorn in like a to be continued.
Because JPL, every movie has to be the start of a franchise now. We can't just have a standalone movie. No, it's not
Rodriguez, didn't you learn from Lita, Battle Angel? Sometimes sequels don't work out. Just finish your movie. Yeah, just not disjointed, bad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's on my list. I don't have a ton to add, but yeah, Affleck literally is about to fall asleep in multiple sequences of this movie. Like you feel like he could just tilt his head back, and he's just like, "Yeah, I mean, man, remember when I was making Air, and we all like had a really good script, and I directed it really well, and that I'm in this movie. Alice Braga is like an exposition machine in this movie. That's all she rattles off in this movie. Every single line of dialogue is a piece of exposition. It's very clunky, like really, really clunky. Bad. They're just trying to explain everything in every scene, just way too hard. You've got an initial decent premise of like a William Fichtner guy running around like having a power to make people do shit. It's not a bad premise in general. It goes to wacky places. Yeah, the whole sequence, you guys know what I'm talking about. I won't say too much, but the sequence with the fake sets, we'll say, really, really stupid. stupid.
Some wacky reveals.
Yeah, really bad reveals, multiple bad reveals. And just a mishmash of like several different movies all in one. So Hypnotic is not great. I thought I was alone for a while because after they showed it in the Regal Mystery movie, one of them, and like I then went on the Facebook groups that I'm at, and people were like, "Man, I really liked Hypnotic. Yeah, Hypnotic was pretty good." I was like, "Oh my god, am I all alone on this thing? Am I gonna be?" And eventually, once more people saw it, it went. People got a little more straightened out, but I think some people were just too happy to be there. And again, those people that just don't watch anything else were like, "Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, pretty good movie." Like, y'all need to see more movies. All right. Well, Hypnotic. There we go. So, all right, JPO, you're number 8.
I'm going to talk Netflix's The Outlaws. Anyone else seen this Adam Devine classic?
I don't even know what that is.
Punt.
Oh, Punt.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Gotcha. I hadn't even heard of it, so I'm looking forward to even what that is. I don't know what that is. This might be a punt, so we'll see. I'll go back to my number 9 because since I totally forgot about it, but my number 9 was Exorcist Believer.
Punt.
Okay. I figured that might be the case. So that's fine. So we'll move on to let's see. Oh,
my number 7.
I forgot to write down the Outlaws for JPO. Okay, number 7 for Richie. Yes.
Again, this might just come down to like disappointment because usually I defend all these movies. I don't have dislike on either one. This is the first one I actively disliked, so that's why it's sort of high-ish on my list. My number 7 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
What are you doing?
Y'all did not like this movie.
Yeah, we did not like this movie.
I was just largely just bored throughout it, and they just trying to like shoehorn so much stuff in, like you're using Ant-Man to set up the whole next phase, and then I don't think it worked. I don't think I think I miss like fun Ant-Man was barely there. You had like this, they focus a lot on like Michelle Pfeiffer, the mom, and like those scenes were largely boring. Well, I'm doing 2 things at once. Yeah, I know that was largely boring. I don't know. And then you have a weird spoiler alert, but you like this Bill Murray cameo that should have been fun. It was just weird and out of place. I don't know. It just felt strange. And then the MODOK thing is very it shouldn't look as bad as it did in an MCU film. And Jonathan Majors is good. That doesn't matter anymore. But Jonathan Majors was good. As Kang. It didn't get me. This whole thing didn't get me excited for the next phase. And I skipped the Marvels. Well, I'll watch it eventually, but I'm guessing still not excited for the next phase. I think they need to do it like a correction course somewhere. Something's gone awry since Endgame, largely. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, JPO, any quick thoughts on Ant-Man?
I guess I'm a huge fan compared to you guys. Oh shoot! Somebody played music. Hold on. Okay, I paused the music. Anyway, I don't know. Again, like I do agree. This again to me would be a high disappointment because I didn't like the fact that we kind of got sucked out of like the real world for again just kind of another fantasy world. I think that took away. I missed Michael Pena. I missed, what I mean. The kind of family drama. I felt like it was just instead CGI, wacky characters, MODOK. Substituted in for it here. even large sequences of like, oh, we're not even really kind of like this. You could have had any villain or any hero rather in this story, because you know what I mean. He's barely even kind of doing Ant-Man like stuff, because he's just kind of Paul Rudd in a suit for several chunks of it.
Where was
And
the stuff in like the original movie where they use the Ant-Man thing as far as like compared to real life things? It just feels like it's on another planet. Like, what's the point of
yeah,
the Ant-Man thing if he's not getting big and large in like real environments? You know, which
yeah,
makes no sense.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like this really could have been anyone's story. This could have been the Hawkeye story. This could have been, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this doesn't feel tailor suited to Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like if this was a TV show, I'd be cool with it. But the fact that it's maybe the last main Ant-Man, I'm disappointed that we were traveled to this world. And so, like I said, I think there's enough good things in which I love Paul Rudd. It did Majors was good, or Explode Deleted was good, but yeah, I do just agree that it's definitely not what I would have thought it would have been.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie either. I had it on my honorable mentions. It just got it, but for a while, Richie, it was in that, it was in my list for a while. Yeah, it looks bad. It might as well just be set on another planet because it makes no difference. Yeah, the MODOK stuff is absolutely horrific. I thought Catherine Newton was really unlikable as the daughter. Like I thought she came off as a real bitch in this movie. And yeah, and she's supposed to be like, you're supposed to like her, and I didn't at all. And yeah, and Michelle Pfeiffer looks asleep in this movie. There's character decisions she makes that make no sense. You know, like why the hell did she tell anybody about anything going on down there? This threat, and she's just like, no, I'm just gonna keep it quiet for the whole movie and then not tell you anything to the very end. Yeah, a multitude of things. I also talked about that one on the Battleground show when it came out and ranted about it for a while, so I won't go too hard into it. But yeah, I was not a fan either. So, all right. So we'll go to JPO's number 7.
This is a movie called Simulant over on Amazon. It's Robbie
You said
Amell,
Simulant?
Simulant. Yes.
Simulant. That's another one I've never heard
Yeah.
of. So enlighten me, please. Yeah.
There's a reason here.
I know of it, but I've seen it on other people's lists, but I didn't get around to it.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you talk about boring, and it's fucking boring. It's a lot of tropes of like stuff you've seen kind of from Blade Runner or from other sci-fi movies, kind of mixed into one here. But again, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. It's trying to throw a little bit too much different kind of lures at you. It drags. No one's having fun in this movie too. It's got a bit of a depressive ending. Simu Liu is wasted again. I feel like Simu Liu has not had a good movie since Shang-Chi either. At least between this and the dog movie, I feel like he's kind of been wasted. Baby Amell, I think again is better. I think maybe Steven would have done better. I hate to say it, just based on. I think Robbie's better suited for more fun things than what I've seen, because again, he just feels like he overdoes the drabness of it, and yeah, just kind of cliched and but not in a good way, not like a good homage way. It just didn't work. The sci-fi dud.
Okay.
Similarly, as in Barbie, I guess you can get that. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's true. Not much though. Like I'm just surprised that like the lead of a Marvel movie hasn't really had like a solid like juicy lead since. You know?
Yeah, and the dog movie has been sitting on the shelf for a couple of years, so I don't think that's going to help him much either. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
not his fault, but not great timing.
Yeah, right.
You said five on. If I could come up with 5, we won't talk about it, but one that I totally forgot about that'd be an honorable mention. Strays. There you go. Didn't like that.
Oh, okay. I thought it had enough clever stuff that I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't put it all together.
I laughed enough to where no way.
It didn't offend me or anything. I thought it was
the movie. I thought
okay.
it was what I thought it was going to be, a one joke movie.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just
I
thought there was enough.
A couple times.
I laughed at there was a couple of things where it's the weird stuff the dogs do, and then like expressing it in like dialogue, like the stuff where like you'll see your dog do it occasionally, where they like spin in a circle 3 times before they lay down. Like they did a whole sequence of that where they were by the lawn and like trying to figure out how to lay, and there was like it was just audible. So I thought that was clever. I thought there were some clever things that dogs do, pretending like it was Armageddon when the fireworks were going off. Like the end of the world. There was enough clever stuff in there where I liked it enough. Like I didn't like love the movie or anything. I thought it was decent. All right, so my number 7. I'll make sure I don't skip anything this time. It might get punted. We'll see. Is Robots?
Punt.
Oh,
okay.
What? Yeah, punt that shit.
Okay, no, sounds good. So we'll all get to that here in the second half. So all right, well, cool. Well, we'll go to our 6s then. So Richie, back to you for 6.
All right. Let's get it. Oh yeah, okay. Number 6. So probably in the same camp as you know, Ant-Man the Wasp maybe more of maybe more in the lines of a disappointment in you know, like putting JPO or whatever. But I don't know. In retrospect, I don't know why this movie had to exist. But number 6, we can talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Like if the whole punchline basically throughout the whole thing is that he's wanting to retire and he's too old and like he can't do much, then don't do an Indiana Jones movie when he can't do much. It's like, again, one of the themes of these lists is like people checked out. You know, Ben Affleck checked out of Hypnotic. Michelle Pfeiffer looking checked out of Quantumania. You know, Harrison Ford looks like he just wants to get. I mean, it's his character as well, but I feel like the actual Harrison Ford shining through here too. It's like, I just want to get this film done with. I like the money, but yeah. I mean, I like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but yeah, she was more of a main character than a side character. There's, as someone sort of just becoming a big fan of.
Yeah. That was my whole thing on every Battleground discussion show, was ranting about a bad movie this year. So yeah.
Yeah. As you can I don't know. I'm kind of a new fan to the Indiana Jones things. Like, I watched them before we the movies. Well, at least original trilogy, and I loved them. But and like obviously, I mean, I guess because of his age too. But like the heavy reliance on CGI is just, it takes away from everything. I just the kid in it that was trying to be short, you know, especially trying to be like a version of Short Round. He annoyed me more than he should, and then he could randomly fly a plane. Apparently, you can just do that. Apparently.
You can just do that after, you know, having a thing on your table. It's the exact same thing. Absolutely, yeah. And
then like he just spoiler, but you know, the fact that he wanted to stay in the past. I'm like, I don't know if that Indiana Jones would want, would actually do that. Mm-hmm. And then like there's the random sort of unknown cameo at the end. I'm like, oh, okay. I was left feeling like, why did we like cool. I guess to print money, but like we didn't need another movie. Like if you wanted to establish like a kind of a thing where, okay, maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge is the next action hero. Maybe you could just do a Phoebe Waller-Bridge movie with like a short thing with Harrison Ford to kind of be the no pun intended bridge between those things. But I don't know. I felt bad for Harrison Ford. He was basically a damsel the whole movie. He wasn't Indiana Jones. So anyway, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah. Any thoughts, JP, real quick?
Like Ant-Man, it was fine. I don't know, man. There's way worse than this. I think maybe because I'm just not the most like egregious like Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones Die Hard. I kind of saw them later. That I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's not the Indiana Jones I wanted either, but it just doesn't anger me as much, and there's enough kind of going for it. I kind of like Waller-Bridge. I think at least her first couple scenes, I thought she kind of shined. And like I said, not great, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I was not a fan. Richie of Dial of Destiny, obviously it's on my list as well. Harrison Ford, I don't even know like why he even bothered. This screams like him. He should have seen the script and just said, yeah, no, we're just not doing it at all. And just not do it. Because he's a side character in his own movie. I'm so over the trend they do right now, Richie, of the depressed old useless hero who used to be cool. Between this and Luke Skywalker and the new, Star Wars movies, and just it's like the new thing where we have to just beat down our old hero that we used to like and make him, a sack of shit who's useless. Hey, you know what movie didn't do that and was really good? Top Gun Maverick. They didn't do that in Top Gun Maverick, and it was good. Maverick who was older and and who people thought maybe was uncool or whatever, and then he shows that he still got some usefulness to him and it's still fucking cool. Hey, that could work.
It really is a bit depressing that that's like a new trope now. Like, hey, by the way, after Return of the Jedi ends, Luke's depressed, and then Han and Leia break up, and like
Yeah.
Jesus, everything has to go to shit. Jesus.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
not everything has to go to shit. Like Maverick can be a cool character still, who's still as good as what he does, and
You
it
also
can be
go
fun.
people go to the movies for like an escapism for the real world and like to see these cool characters. You don't want to be like, oh, you don't want to be like, oh, cool, oh, their life is shit too. Okay, cool. All right, their life's gone to shit. All right.
Can
Cool.
people just have a happy ending in retirement and then come out of retirement and contribute something useful? I mean, to me, if you were gonna do this, and I know they speculated on this for a while, have Indiana Jones somewhere telling a story, recast a young Indy, and do the other movie. Do the movie with the younger Indy, and have it still Harrison Ford in the thing, just telling a story or something. I don't know. Yeah, Brian makes another good point. Yeah, you can de-age Harrison Ford all you want to, but he still sounds like old ass Harrison Ford, 80-year-old Harrison Ford, and it doesn't match at all. From what I saw in Last Crusade, when he's still talking like this, like it just doesn't match. It's bad. The action scenes are dull. He spends the entire climax tied up, sitting down, which is not how I want Indiana Jones to spend the climax of a movie. I want him as an active character, please, in my climax, doing something, not just playing second fiddle to everybody, and completely inconsequential to the movie. I could go on and on about that movie. I hated Dial of Destiny pretty much with a passion. Yeah, it was not. As a big Indiana Jones fan, I did not like it at all. So, all right. Sounds good. All right, Indiana Jones. That knocks it off both of our lists. So JPO number 6. Go back to you.
Let's get our rom-com back on the Netflix and chill, baby. With Your Place or Mine.
Okay, I watched it, but it didn't quite make my list. But it was not good.
You know why it didn't make your list? Because you guys just nothing did and you forgot about it. But I'm gonna hold it to the fire.
I probably forgot I saw it, honestly.
I forgot
exactly.
about it.
Yeah.
I know I said before sometimes I let that slide. This time I won't let it slide. I'm gonna hold it to the fire. Be better, movie. Be better. Again, this is the great cliche of just like
bad rom-com.
First, they do the bad part of introducing a character that I think had more in common with Reese Witherspoon that you kind of want to see her with more than Ashton Kutcher. Because why do her and Ashton Kutcher get together? Because they're the leads and they're hot. The end. It's not really earned. You know what I mean? When they finally realize they like each other, you don't necessarily get why now they do. Steve Zahn's the wacky neighbor who's wacky because I don't know. He's in their front yard and he's got no shoes and he's wasted. I just remember the entire movie just being like, at least with a shitty movie that we'll talk about later, like The Outlaws. I feel like they, at least in their minds, tried. But this is the kind of movie where I'm like, where am I supposed to really give a shit about either of these characters or laugh or care? I'm not even seeing where the attempt is. It was my number 6, Your Place or Mine. I just really, really nothing to this movie.
I watched it and the whole thing was just so blah that I just put it out of my mind immediately. So because it was just blah. This fake relationship that you don't buy the dynamics of it from the beginning. Yeah, of them being like, we're best friends, but we're not lovers, but we get along perfectly and know each other inside. I hate that trope too in a bunch of romance movies. That shit bothers me too.
It feels like a romantic comedy that would come out like a really cliche romantic comedy that would come out like the mid 2000s or some shit.
Yeah, a lot of movies this year that felt like they should have come out 20 years ago. This movie fit right in with it, and realistically, with the same leads, you could do this movie in 2003 with Ashton Kutcher and Reese Witherspoon. It would have fit in better actually back then. It would have made more sense. Yeah, that's when Reese Witherspoon was making all of her rom-coms back in the early 2000s. Same with Ashton.
Ashton was just married, and
yeah. So I don't have a lot to say. It just washed over me, and I was just I think I mostly didn't pay attention to it once it was on. I was just like, I was very in and out of that movie.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't like it. It probably would have made my honorables if I had remembered I'd seen it. It's just a very beat for beat, dumb romantic comedy that doesn't even try to be any different, and
most of my top 10-ish are movies that pretty much made me angry. That's the those type of movies. This movie
usually,
especially my top couple. Yeah. So all right, Your Place or Mine. Okay. All right, so I will go to my number 6, which is we kind of alluded to it earlier with Ray Liotta, but I'll go Fool's Paradise for my number 6. No, all right, cool. Yeah, probably the unfunniest, or one of the. I actually there's several of my list still to come. Yeah, one of the most unfunny, disappointing comedies I saw this year. Yeah, just not good. Oh, I forgot an A in that. Nice. There you go. Okay. Anyways, yeah, no, a decent premise here, and a good cast with Charlie Day. I like Charlie Day. Hey, but what's the best thing about Charlie Day? I don't know, the way he delivers lines and is, quick with his wit. So let's do a movie where he's directing and makes himself a mute the whole movie.
It's like making Deadpool mute
yeah, it's just like you take away like the one thing we like about them and you create them mute. I know he's trying to do this throwback to like silent performers, Chaplin type stuff, but I think he's the wrong guy for that. I don't want him to be silent. I want him to talk. And the fact that the conceit of the movie is that he has a brain of like a 2-year-old is really, I felt bad for the guy more than like wanting to laugh at him. I just wanted to be like, yeah, wow, I feel really bad for this dude. Like, can we just get him some actual help, please? What are we doing? What's his name? Ken Jeong plays the most annoying character I saw in a movie this year. He is horrifically annoying in this movie as his like publicist dude. Just you could take a drinking game with this every time he yells latte pronto in this movie and you'll be dead within 30 minutes. It's really, really bad. And yeah, just a premise that really doesn't go anywhere and just spins its wheels. And I just wanted it to be over. And if this is another movie that was an hour and a half that felt like 3 hours when I was watching it, it just kept going and going and going and going and going. Yeah, no, I did not enjoy Fool's Paradise. I'm glad I waited till Hulu at least, so I didn't see it in the theater and waste my time. But yeah, really, really bad. So, anybody have any thoughts on Fool's Paradise?
Yeah, I was going to, but just about getting around to it. But yeah, it seems pretty bad.
I will be honest with you. Should this be my 10? It should. I think I just like Charlie Day too much where I don't want to admit how bad this is.
It's a really bad movie.
Because it legitimately, on paper, his directorial debut, he got all his friends plus them plus fucking
everybody is somebody in the movie. Like as you go along,
Bateman,
everybody.
Sudeikis,
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta for the love of God again. And then this thing just meanders from scene to scene. It's almost like there's not a great script here. It's almost like they're just like, oh, this will be kind of funny, and oh, we'll make Adrian Brody this kind of character. That'll be kind of funny, and put a funny mustache on Sudeikis. The ends, even like I remember even wondering like, how's this thing gonna end? The end is like with him being reunited with Ken Jeong, like which you don't give a shit about. Like it's weird and messy, and yeah, man, I feel like Charlie Day set out to just make this like fun, like almost old school ensemble, and it just I don't know, it didn't work.
Yeah, it's not good. So I wish I disliked it. All right, that was my number 6. So now we're down into the top 5 here. We're getting real serious business here. So Richie, you're number 5.
Well, speaking of bad rom-coms, I was made aware of this movie existing thanks to Pez, so he's probably at the higher than me. That's the movie, the Loveless movie, Love Again.
Yeah, we'll punt that just a little bit for a little bit. Yeah, we'll get to Love Again. All right, JPO, you're number 5.
So I don't think Comedy Central makes TV shows anymore, but once a year they make a direct-to-TV movie, and they always have really fun casts, and they're never good. And this might be the worst one yet. Office Race is the name of this one.
Hell? I need to look this up.
Well, you know what? I was very aware of this because when we just did that jobs tournament fight, Jordan had this on there. I didn't know what it was, but because it was, I think I disqualified it because it was made for Comedy Central. I said it's made for TV, so we need to substitute that for an actual theatrical movie. So that, but I don't know anything beyond that. So please enlighten me.
So yeah, I try not to like nitpick too much on like the theater thing because again, the cast here is good. Yeah, Beck Bennett, who I thought was a standout on SNL for several years. Allison Hannigan, who you don't see much of. Kelsey fucking Grammer's in this. JB Smoove. Ross Marquand from Walking Dead. Like, you got some players here. And Joe McHale, who's the only saving grace that made this a couple notches higher. Joe McHale's character actually has a couple laughs. But kind of like robots from the get-go, that we'll talk about later. You don't like Beck Bennett's character here. He's written absolutely annoying and a dick. So again, you're not kind of rooting for him. When his character kind of maybe changes things around, which takes a while. And yeah, I guess it's made for TV, but you can just kind of tell from the script here that this wasn't a script that I'm sure would have been made to more of a mass produced. Because yeah, again, just not funny, just very kind of bad jokes that you've seen done better or crass, and yeah, not in a good way. Yeah, Office Race, super generic. You probably also tell they don't even have like Kelsey Grammer's in like one scene just so they can put him on the poster. That's also kind of annoying, So yeah, it's pretty bad. All three of their movies so far have been bad. Cursed Friends, this, and they had like a Zoom movie a few years ago.
Okay. Yeah, no, I had heard the title, like I said, but I didn't investigate.
Yeah, even the title feels like they didn't even try.
Like Office Space, Office Race, I feel like they're trying to give viewers just maybe who accidentally stumble upon it, maybe. Definitely could be.
Like your grandma's at the store. I want Office Space.
I want Office Space. Well, I found Office Race. That's what you want. I found it at the supermarket.
I don't want Kick Panda or whatever. Is that a Kung Fu Panda?
Chop Kick Panda. No, I asked for Transformers, not Transmorphers. You got the wrong movie. All right. Office Race. JPO's number 5. My number 5 is House Party.
All right.
Yeah, I know somebody already mentioned it, but
11.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. So we all have it, so we can all talk about this. Yeah, House Party. I was late to getting to it. I didn't actually see it in the theater because I think I probably would have. I think I just had stuff going on. I just didn't get around to it. I didn't really get hardcore into my theater stuff till February. Caught up with it on Max, and yeah, oh my god, it was as unfunny as I was told it was going to be. Again, 2 characters who were just have no charisma, no chemistry. There's a sense in that original movie, and I watched the original one not too long ago again. There's a sense of just fun in that movie. Everything's a good time. All the characters, Kid and Play are very charismatic in that original movie. Martin Lawrence, like everybody has their spots, has their moments. The dance scenes are fun. The music is good. I feel like the movie's like not even focused on the actual party and the house party. It's like we have an obligation. In that original movie, it's like they're throwing a house party because they want to have a house party. It's not because we have an obligation, like we got to pay off a debt, or in this case, like I got to raise money for whatever cause. They're just doing it because they want to. They just want to, because the other guy has the house free to himself, and we want to throw like a fun house party. This one's like we have an obligation to do so. It's really convoluted to even set it up and get it done. Where the end cameo is. You're waiting for it to come. Based on whose house it is. Obviously, I mean, if you see the trailer, it's LeBron James' house. You're just waiting for him to show up. But the tangents they take are really bad. The third act, with like this weird Illuminati shit. It's like, where the hell did that come from? Was that even necessary? It's again really wacky and out of place, but not in a funny way. This movie just trudges along to the finish. Kid Cudi was the only thing where he had a couple of lines that I thought were decent, just in his delivery. But yeah, really, really, really bad remake and unnecessary. And ain't that the story of Hollywood? It's a bunch of unnecessary remakes, and yeah, this is totally one of them. So we'll go around the horn, Richie.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to add. Yeah, Kid and Play, these guys aren't even thinking. Yeah, they just got
or House Party 3. Shut the fuck up. Jam Bob.
Yeah. No, it makes it look like just that's I can't even think of it. This is just.
Yeah, that's also that movie I left off the list, but that is the worst movie of the year. Is Freddy's Fridays.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sky Monster was bad. Yeah, the movie I watched for John's thing was bad.
I did leave that off the list.
It's like I watched that out. I watched that out of obligation because otherwise I wouldn't know what it even was. Because I had to. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, anyway.
But anyway, back to House Party. Yeah, they don't really focus much on the house party, and it's just like there's no sense of fun. I wanted to be at the house party and the house party. This was just like too boring. You're following 2 boring characters. It's just so I don't know. It's just so bland, unfunny. I don't know. Just felt like the the maker of this. I can't remember his name, but he made obviously
Cal Maddock is the
Cal Maddock. I feel like he didn't get the essence of what made the first one great in the first place. Yeah, and it is weird that two remakes by the same director came out the same year. So yeah, I don't know. I was just like I guess because I had low expectations because of I don't know, just I guess because I didn't think they needed to remake this movie like especially like this. And I saw the trailer. I'm like, that's why it's so low because I kind of just met whatever low expectations I had. So, but like, yeah, it's still bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
No, this belongs on the list absolutely here. I mean, I could see a remake being again, nothing's necessary in these days, but I can see it making sense. You know what I mean? It's a very simple, could be very effective premise here. But yeah, you guys hit it on the head. Your first big problem is I don't like these two main characters. I don't want to hang out with these two main characters. They are not kid and play, who weren't the greatest of actors, but they were fun and they were charming, especially the main tall Afro one. I don't know if he was kid or play. Pez, you're old. Who was the Afro?
Kid was the one with the tall Afro. Play was the other one. Yeah,
very fun and charming. Like, you want to at least hang out with him. He's kind of nice. Like he doesn't like force himself on the girls. Like you like that character. You know what I mean? Like here, I don't like either character. In fact, I do talk about this on my show Countdown with Aaron Knoll. He brought up the fact that like one of the actors is known more for like stage plays and dramatic work. Kind of shows maybe he wasn't meant for him.
No comedy chops. No. Yeah.
I was like, I believe that in a way because that was my first takeaway was I didn't like the casting of these two people. The cameos are mostly wasted outside of Kid Cudi. At least his character kind of has some funny things to do. Well, every other cameo is mostly, hey, it's so and so to be so and so, and also a lot of cameos. And if you're not ingrained into that, they're not like A-list cameos. Some of them, like they're very like
they literally point out like, "Hey, look, you're the Black Power Ranger," and that's a cameo.
They have to spell it out,
yeah.
Or you don't even know. Like if you don't know who like DJ Youngfly is, like you're not gonna care. You know what I mean? So
it almost felt like to a less extent because I know it's like more parody, but like you know how like the Freeberg and Salsa would be like, "Hey, look, it's this person," but obviously it's playing.
Look, it's Amy Winehouse. It's like yes. And where's the joke? Oh, you're the Black Power Ranger? That's the joke? Why is that a joke?
We got the Black Power Ranger. The end. And even the LeBron thing, I'm like, okay, we know he's gonna pop up because obviously he shot the hologram stuff. I'm sure he's in it. He's not even funny. Like he just shows up and the character's legitimately kind of pissed.
As he should jail. As he should be. And you agree with him. You go, yeah, you should. You ruined my house and you lost my championship ring. You should go to jail. Yes, you should. Absolutely.
And the problem is, we've seen that LeBron can be funny. He's really good in Trainwreck.
Yeah, LeBron can be funny.
They would go the funny route, but I mean, I guess you could argue it makes sense for him to be pissed. But I thought even then I was like, oh, we're gonna have some laughs here. You know, the basketball scene might be funny. No, but he's just mad. Get the fuck to jail. Go fuck off. Yeah. So yeah, this thing just didn't work. This was bad. White Man Can't Jump though looked fucking fantastic compared to it though.
Compared to it, yeah. But even like the original House Party, the full force guys, the guys who are the bullies in the original movie, are funny. Like they're likable, but they're assholes, but like they're likable. Like that pinky guy who's always just like, "And we're gonna kick your fucking ass." Like all that shit is really funny. Like they're hilarious. So like yeah, I mean they're doing the bully stuff, but like they're funny. Like all the side characters. John Witherspoon shows up in that original movie. It's just the guy yelling out the window, "Hey, you shut up on that damn noise! You shut up on that damn noise!" Like, it's funny.
I ended up doing a unique experiment, by the way. Not an experiment. This is just literally how my life worked. I saw the old one after. So I had zero comparison going in.
Right.
So I just know the new one's a bad one because it's a bad movie, and there is likable things with the old one. Also, a few things of like, hey, I'm not homo-y, but like, so it's a little 1990, but there is also some charm and some laughs. Like you said, the villains are fun. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. There's fun to be had in the original one. It's like Friday. Like you could easily put it on with Friday, like a double feature, have a really good time. But there's a heart to it. You know, both those movies. There's none of that. So, House Party. There you go. Check the comments here. I mean, you know, they're talking about Good Burger 2 cameos. It's like,
some of those are wasted too.
Thing. Yeah, some of those are kind of unnecessary.
Some were
wasted, but. Yeah, I didn't love Good Burger 2 either, but I saw worse movies. All right, so
I saw
we're going
worse, and I don't know, maybe just my nostalgia goggles made me like it a little bit more than I could have.
It had its moments, but I was not really a fan though. But we'll see. All right, number 4, Richie. What you got?
All right. Now we can talk about Exorcist Believe.
Exorcist Believer. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. On my list as well. JPO. No.
No, same with none, slightly above it.
Okay. Gotcha. So
I feel like David Gordon Green is a villain in the horror community. At this point, he's destroyed. He is well, not destroyed, but someone can obviously pick up the IP later on. But
I still like the first 2 Halloween movies. He just completely botched the finale.
I'm not a fan of Halloween Kills, but I get what you like.
I love Halloween Kills for how batshit crazy it is.
I get what people like. I get it. Yeah, like but at the end of the day, he's his work on 2 beloved IPs isn't good. And they spent a lot of money getting the rights to this movie, and they committed to a trilogy, and they just announced that they're taking off the schedule. Yeah, this movie is boring as shit. It shouldn't be boring. It's this movie that there's some good ideas. It just kind of plays out very, in the most bland way possible. They shoehorn Ellen Burstyn in here, and then but it reminds me. It reminds me of when remember that Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake on Netflix.
Oh, the Netflix one. Yeah, the Netflix one is bad with the Sally thing.
Yeah. The original chicks there.
Unnecessary. They do just to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like just to do it. Just hey, we got this person to agree to the film, but yeah, there's like nothing. There's just nothing there. It's just a dull. I've never really. I wouldn't say I've fallen asleep in a film, but I was close. I was like, man, this should be interesting. This should be.
You want to know why it's not higher for me? I did for a few minutes, so maybe that helped it.
You slept through the really bad parts. Yeah.
Maybe when the shit picks up, all right? When they fucking
right.
Well, I mean, the lack of tension. I didn't care. I didn't care about the character.
Good idea, Pez.
I didn't.
No, we're back scratching buddies. You know what I'm saying? Clink, cheers. Hey, same ones. Oh, bamboo.
Yeah, gotta get that bamboo, baby.
Oh, dude, you gotta keep it nearby. You know what I'm saying?
It features that
fucking those metal ones. Sorry,
I can't remember the main character, the actor's name, but he's always in those. There's always these movies that come out around the time. It was all
Leslie Odom Jr., who could be really fucking good, by the way.
Leslie Odom Jr., who's I feel like he can be good, but he's always in this movie. Movies the same like Morris Chestnut, where it's like a very bad all black cast. Seemed like nearly all black cast like horror movie. And I didn't think it was going to be.
And Ann Dowd can be very good too, and she's boring in this movie.
Yeah, I like Ann Dowd. Yeah. She's always like a. I think I said this while I was in the theater. She's always playing. Lately, she's doing playing the friend who's like into a demon worship possession because she's in Hereditary playing virtually the same character. But yeah, this was boring, and Nexus movie I don't think should be boring. It's criminal. So yes, that's why it's high.
Yeah, I also had it on my list. It's very bad. As boring to where I was checking my time so many times in this movie, just wanted it to be over. I was ready for them to get the finale because you know what the premise is and why this one's scary, Richie? Because it's not just one girl, it's 2 girls. See, it's double the scary, which doesn't ratchet up the tension at all. It just makes for a really ham-handed, ham-fisted, sort of choice thing they have to do in the finale, which is bad. And yeah, the climax just doesn't make any sense. They're just throwing everything at the wall and just hoping something sticks. Everybody in the movie looks bored. And yeah, it's just you could have done so much with this property. I think it's been dormant enough to where they could have come up with something interesting. Because what's the last one we got? The Rennie Harlan, prequel to The Exorcist, back in 2004. That movie's really bad as well. But yeah, I just don't think it's a franchise that I'm just so over exorcism movies at this point. I'm just done with them. I think they're all kind of exactly.
The Pope's Exorcist could have been.
Yeah, but the Pope's Exorcist at least I think was kind of self-aware. I think Russell Crowe knew what movie he was in that one, and he's trying to have some fun at least for a little bit of that movie. His character.
There was fun to watch. At the beginning, Rennie Harlan 2004, but then 2005 the. Paul Schrader Dominion prequel.
They're the same movie. Same movie. One's in Spanish, one's in English. Same movie.
What it is?
Same. Same script. Yeah, same movie, basically. Yeah.
There was The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I don't know when that came out, but yeah.
No, the literally Dominion prequel, The Exorcist, and Exorcist, whatever the fuck. They're basically the same movie. Just one's in Spanish, same script. Yeah. Yeah, same movie. I'm telling you.
I
It's the
believe
same.
you could continue.
It's the same story. It's the same story. Like it's the same prequel element, same character, same everything. It's a different cast. They filmed basically the same movie twice. Yeah, and they're both bad. So Stellan Skarsgård's in both of them.
He is. What? What is this? I'm so confused. Hold on. Wait, start over. Are they different movies or are they the same movie?
I mean, they're technically two separate movies, but they're the same movie. Yeah.
Wow.
Stellan Skarsgård's in both of them, and they're speaking a different language in the other one. That's it. Yeah.
I guess it is 0405.
They basically filmed it twice. Yeah, and then they both came out differently. It's weird. Yeah, it's really, really weird.
Count. So is there 6 movies or 5 movies? Do you say there's 6
Again,
then?
Technically, there's 6 movies in the franchise, but those 2 movies are the same.
That is some mindfuckery. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Look into it sometime. It's really strange. Yeah. I'm sure you can find an article about it somewhere. I'm sure. Like, look it up.
I saw the beginning and it sucked. Did I see Dominion? I don't know.
Yeah. No, if you saw one, you saw the other one. Yeah, it's really, really strange. A long story. But yeah, no, this one, yeah, you could do something with it, but I don't know where you go at this point to make it interesting. Yeah, these are all the same. It just all builds up to the same climax, same finale. Nothing. Yeah, put exorcism movies to bed for a while. I don't think anybody's had any good ideas for a long time about what to do with these, because it's kind of, what else do you do? They speak in a weird voice and make stuff levitate. Like, is that all we can really do with this premise? Essentially, I mean, it just doesn't scare me. I don't care. So yeah, bad movie, really, really bad. But JPL still has mind blown with this thing.
Yeah, you've been reading about it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you can find articles about it explaining what the fuck happened with that. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. No, I'll look at it more later. It's interesting. That's weird.
It's an interesting story, yeah, for sure. But all right, so there we go. So your number 4, Richie, was Exorcist Believer. All right, JPL, what is your number 4?
He's back, everybody. It's Josh Duhamel for the second time in one show.
Oh boy,
Buddy Games 2.
Buddy Games. See, you watch all these shitty streaming movies that I just ignore most of the time. But yeah, good on you.
I don't even have an excuse. The reason the excuse I saw the first one was because Sheamus was in it. It was a WWE films. There's no wrestling connection here, and I still fucking did it. What's wrong with me? This makes the first one seem great. The first one at least had a shitty plot. This one is all over the place, kind of like Quasi, but in a way worse way. It's just kind of like skit after skit. We're like, okay, now we're gonna do the generic everyone's high sequence, and we're seeing funny colors. We're gonna play with editing, which is in 90 different movies, including Strays. We even saw this year. We get high, weird things happen. Now we're going to get kidnapped by a cult. That's going to happen for the next 15 minutes. Now we're going to be at this bar. The Buddy Games itself is actually, weirdly enough, only a small part of the movie. The rest of the movie, again, they're in a cult thing. They're doing this, they're doing that. But the Buddy Games, the whole fucking point of the first one, is barely even part of the second one. I feel like Dax Shepard said he was busy and didn't come back, so his character is not in this. James Day from Psych pieces out at like the 15-minute mark, and they don't even give a reason. They just go, "Hey man, we'll come back and get you." And the character goes, "No, I'm good. I'm just gonna take a walk." Like I was like, did they film James Roday in real life? Did they film James Roday in real life? Going, "No, I'm good. I don't want to film the rest of this," and like put it in the film. Yeah, they don't even give the character a good reason not to be there, other than they probably couldn't either afford him or he just didn't want to do it. I don't know. So you're just kind of left with one because you lost Dax and James Roday. You're left with, I think, kind of the worst 2, if not 3, side characters. Dan Beckedal, who can be good, but is not that great of a character in this. Nick Swartzen continuing to be an annoying screen presence, even though I love his original stand-up comedy. Nick Swartzen, between this and like some of the Sandler films, just always plays an irritating character. Kevin Dillon, who's just fine. Duhamel's good, but again, just the stuff they have to work with is just not funny. It's one kind of like thought, like it's not a coherent script. It's one kind of like, we'll do this for a little bit, we'll do this for a little bit, and 9 times out of 10, it's not funny. So
So I remember when you brought this up on some other show, JPO, and I asked the exact same
It
question.
was probably
about
the halfway point.
There was a Buddy Games 1. I never even know what Buddy Games was.
There's a Buddy Games 1 and 2, and give Josh credit, it's now become a CBS reality game show. There's actually a Buddy Games game show.
I think I've seen a promo for that actually. Yeah, for the actual.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew there was the first one is because Josh Duhamel, I think, did promoted and did commentary on Raw one time, and he was pretty bad at it. To promote the movie. With
Sheamus pops up at the end, yeah.
Yeah, because Sheamus popped up at the end, and sometimes I realize a lot of movies come out like now, like tons of movies come out. It's impossible to see all of them, but I feel like you discover movies that I didn't know. It's just I mean, I knew that there was probably going to be a sequel to this. It does say a lot about your film when Dax Shepard, who I don't believe has wouldn't believe he has a full schedule. It was just like I'm doing podcast. Yeah.
And
JPO just flips around the streaming services. Look at that news section. Anything interesting? Yeah, I'll put that on. Why not? I feel like
I think because I had seen the first one, I was like inherently like I gotta see what they do in a sequel. Yeah, right. I hated the first one. Both of them directed by him, by the way, too. Just want to throw that out there. Right. Directed by him.
Well, good for him, I guess. Well, I mean, obviously he's making some money if he got like a TV deal out of it too. So he's doing something right that somebody.
No, that's why I said in a weird way I give him credit. Yeah, I mean, he's the host. Yeah. He's the host of it too. He's like the Jeff Probst Survivor host of it.
Turned it into it. Yeah, turned it into something. So good for him, I guess.
And also very watchable. Like if that's your cup of tea, it's a good show.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so that was your number 4. We'll go to my number 4, which is The Marvels. No,
I never saw it actually. So yeah.
I didn't get it. Didn't get to it.
Oh, you got to it.
Okay. Theaters. I was bad with theaters for the last few months because I was just busy.
Well, this one, Malcolm knows would have made my list because I did the review on his channel with him and Steven Shepard, and I just ranted and raved about every part of this movie. Bad editing, horrific script. Again, it's kind of funny. It's the same thing with Little Mermaid. It's like everybody says the same one positive where it's like, hey, the Miss Marvel chick is charming, I guess. And like that's the only positive anybody has to say about this thing. Really, really stupid sequences. The singing planet stuff is really, really stupid. The cat sequence is really, really stupid. Nick Fury is a joke pun machine, which I feel like completely contradicts the Secret Invasion stuff they just did right before that. None of this stuff makes sense continuity wise, plot wise. And the absolute worst villain in the history of the MCU. Give me all the Ronins you can give me because this chick, Damel, whatever the fuck her name, Darpin, whatever the fuck her name is, nobody knows. I'm convinced nobody knows. She's the blandest, worst villain ever. You have a plot completely ripped out of Spaceballs. Literally, it's the same plot as Spaceballs. It's really, really bad. And just really bad plot issues all over the place. This movie was infuriating to watch. You could definitely feel the post-production, like it was absolutely just chopped to shit. And somebody looked at this thing and just went, I mean, good enough, I guess. Just throw it out there. But you know what? It's not good enough. And it's shown in the box office. These movies are not good enough anymore. Maybe this movie would have made money 10 years ago. But now I think people are over this shit and are over lazy-ass movies. And this movie is very, very lazy. I guess it's just not on y'all's list because you haven't got to it yet. So there you go. It's very bad. Very, very bad.
That sucks. That sucks to hear. Yeah, I don't know if I'll hate it as much as you, but this is very much from every review to be best case scenario in like the Ant-Man league.
No, it's in that same league. Yeah, for sure.
That sucks, man. That sucks that Marvel twice appears, man. Damn.
Marvel is
we are not in the
Disney, Marvel, everything did not have a good year this year. No,
we're not in the old times that were like phase 1 through 3. I don't think that would have happened for any of us. I don't think.
I have hated most of the last movies they've done basically since Endgame. I've not enjoyed like at all. I think they're completely lost at this point and they don't know what they're doing. So we'll see if they can kind of reset some stuff. Maybe with Deadpool, we'll see. I don't know. They need to get to that X-Men quick though. That's for damn sure because they are spinning some wheels right now, trying to do all these like little side movies. So, all right, we're into the top 3 now. We're in the home stretch. So let's get to it. Richie, you're number 3.
Hey, JPO, want to talk about the Outlaw?
Yeah, because you have it higher than me. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, all right.
Do you want to? I know you talked about King Jong being an annoying character in Fool's Paradise. Adam Devine is the most annoying presence on screen, and he can be annoying in movies. He is fucking infuriating in this movie.
I just realized I just looked it up on IMDb. There's a dash there for some reason. The outlaws. Yeah. Like the in-laws, the outlaws. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I see. The outlaws.
I wish I was watching The In-Laws. Even the remake, I'll take.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a Happy Madison film that Adam Sandler's not in. I know, like, you know,
That's always rule one to be scared.
Huh? I mean, Grandma's Boys.
That's rule one to be scared is when it's Happy Madison without Adam Sandler.
Yeah, unless it's Grandma's Boy, but yeah, but yeah, this like the whole like you don't even know you don't even know why he's like Adam Devine's married in the first. He's just the most unlikable, annoying character in in like film I've seen in quite a while. I don't know, you're just not invested in the sort of the crime subplot. It's just it's boring. It's just the forceful attempts at humor in every which way just distracts your overall point, like your overall enjoyment. Action, like these action comedies, man. I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, you got to find a perfect balance. And when it's just like when it's action, it's kind of taken away from by stupid, and Devine's character the need to do stupid one-liners all the fucking time and just missing. There's like this, and then just the, I understand like comedies will have these weird characters that don't sort of act the way maybe a human would, but like it takes it to like a weird degree where like the chick that I think Lauren Lapkus, who has a scene for who she's on like from The Wrong Missy, she's like a bank, she works at a bank, and then like she has like I don't know, she has just the weirdest scenes in the fucking world. I'm just like I don't get what like they're going for here at all. It's just the most annoying movie. I had to watch this in parts. I could not stand. I could not stand. Just could not spend 90 minutes with these characters. So yeah,
another bad comedy with Little Ray Howard. He's in another movie. What did you 7 movies this year?
I mean, actually, he's probably doing actually. Comparatively, he's probably one of the better ones, but still, he's not good.
Yeah, Malcolm just doesn't get Adam Devine in general. So, yeah, I guess if you watch Workaholics, I guess I don't know. I know JP is a fan of Workaholics, but I didn't see it. So, but again, another weird one, another bad movie with a wedding in it. Bad movies with weddings. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a bad omen. Just stop doing that. Most of them aren't good.
Richie, bro, you kind of fucking nailed it. I'm glad to hear someone else say it because I've talked about this movie a couple times, and usually it's just people that have never seen it. Divine from almost the first scene or two. You don't like this character. He's too neurotic. He's too annoying to where you're not really rooting for him here. Goddamn, I forgot he was in this too, to be honest. I totally forgot he was the generic friend at work. He's annoying from the get-go here. You don't necessarily know why, his cute, fiance likes him, but that doesn't matter because guess what? Another Happy Madison trope. The female has barely anything to fucking do in the movie here. She's very much there just to be the cute girlfriend in a couple scenes. You've got a couple cool actors here as the parents, in-laws, Pierce Brosnan. We've seen him as 007. They kind of have one moment where you're like, okay, I see where you're going with this, and then it ends up just not doing much with them. He mentioned Lauren Lapkus, which was great. I thought about her scene too, because that's another annoying thing is that character that's not a real person. That's an over the top person just to be over the top, and that trope just doesn't work. It's not funny. It's not believable. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it can be unbelievable if you at least funny, but instead it just comes across as, oh, you're just being weird to be weird. You already have enough weird characters. You know what I mean? Like, find some, you know, relatable humor maybe, but you know, instead just everyone's wacky to be fucking wacky. Yeah, just this movie didn't work.
The director is Tyler Spindell. He's a guy who's mostly done comedy specials, but it looks like he did 2 other movies. Maybe JPO's seen them. They look like straight to streaming. They're like 2 David Spade movies, The Wrong Missy and Father of the Year.
Yes.
The wrong.
Oh,
The wrong
See
Missy is
both of
one with Laura Lapkus in it. It's not good either. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
she's-
both have David Spade and
Yeah.
like Nick Swartzen's in those, I think, as well.
Roman Reigns
yeah.
is in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Right. So of course I've seen it. Also,
Not
David
one
Spade.
person.
I'm pretty good with David Spade filmography. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, so maybe
I'm
this guy's just
surprised.
not a good director. Maybe 3 movies,
I'm not
3 and a half.
surprised by his filmography, Pez, because they're all kind of in that same vein of like, they're just like these messy comedies that just the premise just doesn't work. They don't do well with it. The
Yeah.
Wrong Missy is another one that and I don't want to go too far a reveal, so I'll end soon. But like,
Yeah.
again, like, you don't believe why he falls for her. She really just is a horribly annoying character, but of course he ends up going, you know, for her and Father of the Year. You know, those characters are kind of annoying too. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I even like. Sadly, I'd probably recommend Father of the Year out of those 3.
The only joke that was kind of like I got a smirk at because it was meta. It was like I think Adam Devine asks Pierce Brosnan, "Now who's your favorite Bond?" And then he goes, "Oh, the 5th one," which is or something, which is what Pierce Brosnan. So whatever he said, it was the Pierce Brosnan. So
There's
yeah,
a scene or 2 with Brosnan I liked, and like you can see where like obviously this premise could work, but yeah. And then like it just kind of like Ghosted and like the other one, then it just delves into like, and even role play that we both saw on Amazon. It tries to be this action movie almost more so than the comedy, and that just
I think role play is mismarketed where it's the trailers just suggest it's an action comedy, and then when you watch it, it's like this is an action movie with a couple of lines that were meant to be fun.
All right, JPO, your top 3, number 3.
Now we're on robots for me. Robots.
Robots. All right, well, it's on my list. Are we still punting? We're still punting?
That's your number 1?
Whoa. Oh,
Okay.
okay. So we know it's his number 1. All right, we'll get to it then. Okay, so all right, that bad. All right, it's on my list too. But fair enough. All right, my number 3 is one Richie punted, but we're finally getting to Love Again. So yeah. All right, so Love Again. Yeah, Love Again is. I saw this. This is one of those ones that came out. Was that?
It's the one with it's got one of the Jonas Brothers' wives. Yeah.
No, I just remember this as the Celine Dion. That's the movie I remember.
Yeah, the Celine Dion movie. Yes, yes, the one where she is shoehorned into this movie, where they looked at all the different scripts they had at the studio, and she said, "I want to be in a movie." So they tried to find one that fit, and none of them fit. But they go, "All right, well, how about if both the characters just talk to you randomly throughout the movie, we're in a real shoehorn way?" Okay, sure, you can be in this one. Yeah, because
Nick Jonas is in this too.
Yeah, he's the best thing in the movie. He's the best thing in the movie for his one scene, and then he disappears and he pieces out of the movie. He's by.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Because all right, Love Again. It starts out, and I won't spoil it too much, but it has the most unintentionally hilarious opening scene of the year, and it involves the death of a significant other, but it's funny and it wasn't meant to be funny, but oh boy, does it use some stock noises and some off-screen stuff that just I burst out laughing in the theater and got a lot of dirty looks from all the older ladies that were watching the movie in the theater. But I thought it was hilarious. And then it has the most absurd setup for a romance movie you've just ever seen, where nobody acts like a human being. Yeah, you have basically the premise is, Priyanka Chopra is. She's still grieving 2 years later or whatever, and she just randomly starts texting these like love notes and grief messages to her significant other's old phone, which is now, the number is now in the hands of a guy. And instead of doing the, human thing and going, oh, this is either weird spam or this is the wrong number, maybe I should either tell this person or just block this number. Let me stalk this person and maybe I'll fall in love with them. And it's a really horrible premise for a movie to where it's just the most absurd thing you've ever seen. And even beyond that, has every romantic movie cliche you've ever seen. You have the main guy who has a job that should not support a penthouse apartment that he has, where he's an online music critic who's bad at his job, by the way. He's an online music critic who doesn't know who Celine Dion is. I swear to God. That's like the setup of the movie. And he gets assigned to, go interview Celine Dion, but he has no idea who she is or is familiar with the music.
It's not like he's like young or like a millennial. He's like a dude. He's probably like late 30s.
It's probably 40s. His late 30s. Yeah, like he lived through the 90s. He should know who Celine Dion is. She was all over the 90s. Titanic alone, you should know who Celine Dion is. Like even bare minimum.
In real life, this dude's 40 something, by the way. So yeah.
No, there's no excuses for that. Like even music fans know through Titanic who Celine Dion is. That's absurd. It's absurd.
This is a 1980 baby, so even if he's 5 years younger, he's
but it's the same shit you see in every movie. He's got a job that doesn't support this gigantic apartment. He's got a boss that's just a complete caricature and a cartoon character. The coworkers that just don't seem to do anything at their job. They just stand around and gossip all day and don't do any work. And just really bad meet cutes. Where to try to find her, it's absurd. Like Richie, if I remember right, he's like going to the play like every night that she likes to try to spot her at this place. It's really weird. Like nothing makes sense. And it's so bad.
And then they do, but then they don't even know what each other look like. But then they have this moment like they're two lovers, like a serendipity. They're just kind of they're
just like drawn to each other or whatever.
Their lives have been spread apart and they've come together somehow and they're just reunited. But they've never met each other before. But why would you look like that with someone you don't know? Would you immediately go, oh, that's the guy that's being taken? How do you know that? It was weird.
The Celine Dion stuff is completely out of place because she has no character or where to go. She's just shoehorned into the movie to where like the main character keeps talking to her like in random scenes, like she's a therapist to him or something, which she would have no time for in her real life. She was actually look, if they played it as a silly like comedic premise where it's like, hey, isn't it funny I'm like talking to Celine Dion every week? Like that's kind of funny, right? Like how absurd it is. No, they play it completely straight and it's really bad. and it makes no sense at all. It has the absolute thing that every romance has, which is the 15-minute breakup, and then another absurd, ridiculous thing to way they get back together with him doing this online blog thing, which is really bad and awkward. She should be mad at him. He's a stalker, and she should be mad at him for taking advantage of her. So another thing where you don't buy them getting together at the end, like at all. Just a horrendous movie, man. When this came out and I saw it had like 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, I ran to the theater to watch it. I was like, oh, I gotta see this shit, and I gotta see how bad this is, and I saw it immediately.
There's this. I mean, I can give this away because it's not integral to the movie at all. But it's just a funny scene that nobody would react this way. So the main guy is pretty bland. He doesn't have much of, but like one thing he likes basketball, right? So they show him watching basketball, getting into it. But people get into sports, he's not only got the basketball gear on, if somehow for some reason he's got a basketball in his hand, because that's a novel thing people do.
Because that's what people do while they're watching basketball by themselves, by the way, not with friends and like hanging out at a party. No, he's by himself in his apartment, in his absurdly large apartment for his online music blog job in middle of Manhattan.
When I'm watching wrestling, I often just put on wrestling tights.
We put on wrestling tights and wrestling boots and have all of our gimmicks together and a ring. We jump around a ring and we watch wrestling. So that's what we do. Nick Jonas has one scene in the movie as like she goes out on a date with Nick Jonas, and he's got way more charisma than anybody in the movie. And you're like, no, can we go watch that movie and follow him around? I'd rather follow him. He's got some. He's at least trying to do something. He's like charismatic. He's got an interesting character. He's like a gym bro, just like one of these like gym bro guys who's like constantly concerned, like a male bro kind of dude. And but like he's actually kind of funny and interesting. And then he pieces out of the movie. We never see him again. And I'm like, no, he was the best thing about it. Go back to him. It's not a good movie
because they're together. And like, oh, you're cool. You're being meta. That's kind of cool.
Every bad cliche, really absurd premise and bad twists and turns. So just horrific all around. Not a good movie. So Get to it as soon as you can, Chip.
I might YouTube the Nick Jones clip. That's about the only thing I'm going to do for this movie.
Yeah, it's like one scene in the movie, but yeah, he's the best scene in the movie, easily. Yeah, easily the best scene in the movie. So yeah, it's not good. It's on Netflix now. It dropped, so you can go watch it on Netflix if you want to. For anybody out there who wants to. All right, that was my number 3. So we'll go on to number 2, Richie.
All right, number 2 is appropriate. This is a sequel. My number 2, for me, that I mean, the original was not great, but you know what it was fun. My number 2 is The Meg 2, The Trench.
Oh, I forgot about that one. It probably just missed my list. I forgot to put that on my dishonorable mentions. But yeah, that movie's very bad.
Never saw it. I thought the first one was overrated. Heard nothing but bad about the second.
So I can talk about it too, Richie, because I did see it and it was bad. I think it just slipped out of my list. But yeah, it's not good. This movie's
horrendous. I hated every moment of this movie. So so you got it starts off just. All right, it's a shark movie. You can't go wrong with a shark movie. You barely see the fucking shark in this movie. Barely see the shark until like the last minute. You got like apparently Jason Statham is he can. It doesn't matter about water pressure. He can just hold your breath and you're fine. He's impervious to those things. This. Honestly, if you watch it too, this feels like Chinese propaganda. It does. It's produced by Chinese. There's a lot of mentions of it here. It says, the special effects are bad. The acting is terrible. Jason Statham looks checked out. There's like one cool scene when he's like chasing like the shark with like a was it like a spear on a jet ski.
The jet ski stuff, that was in the trailer, and it's really they keep cutting away from it to go to other bad stuff that we don't care about. With the
bad, boring.
The human villains who are unnecessary in this movie, you didn't need. You could have just had more sharks be the villains, and instead you have this bad subplot of evil mineral drillers or whatever.
I don't want to see that.
You don't need that. You have a great premise of this trench that could have. Either more megalodons or megalodons plus other giant creatures you could just unleash on humanity, and that would be enough of a threat. But no, we have to keep going back to this really bad evil drillers plot, which is really, really stupid and really, really horrible. It's just bad. Like there's unnecessary. You don't need this.
So
and boring for the first hour as well. Yeah,
it's just very boring. Everyone's checked out. Lee Bingbing, the actress, her character is just killed off, so now Jason Statham has to look after her parent basically, and she's and then she automatically just knows all the stuff. I don't know. It's just I don't buy that. I didn't buy that relationship. Cliff Curtis looks bored out of his mind. Everyone's just bored out of their mind. Just saying about it reminds me of The Core. People just saying scientific stuff, and you're just supposed to know what the fuck they're talking about. It doesn't actually. It doesn't even try to be interesting. And it's just it's once it gets interesting, it's just once it gets to the actual action, it's too late, and it doesn't even. So it's just I hated this movie.
You're so bored by the end of the first hour that when they finally get to the stuff with like that you see in the trailer with like the resort or whatever on the beach, when the Megs start like going after them, it's all the same shit you saw in the trailers, so like there's nothing new that they add to it. They showed you all the good bits in the trailers, and B, you're so bored by that you don't care by the time they actually get to that, so it's not fun. You've had way too much of Statham fighting these evil drillers underwater in these hostage situations and just really stupid stuff. It's not good. They need to kill this franchise dead now, like before it gets even further. Jason Statham didn't have a good year. I hope he has a better year this year because apparently The Beekeeper's over the top and fun. From what I'm hearing, I'm gonna see it tomorrow, so I'll let you know. But apparently, it's supposed to be goofy fun. Like David Ayer knew what he was making, so does Statham. So I hope it's better. We'll see. But Meg 2, not good.
It's bad when Ruby Rose even goes, that's fine. I don't need
this. All right. Well, JPO didn't see it, so yeah. No. There you go. I'm too busy with buddy games too, and I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 for you, JPO. What you got?
I have Fear.
What?
What is
What was that? What was that?
Is that the Mark Wahlberg movie from 96?
Yeah, the Mark Wahlberg movie from '96.
I wish, because that's an okay movie. Yeah. No, this is a movie. This was another
the MTV ghost hunting show, the reality show. I remember that. Yeah, well, I have it on bootleg DVD.
Oh.
No, never saw that one either.
Might have. This is a horror movie that started at the beginning of the year, directed by Dion Taylor. Its most notable star is T.I.
Oh God!
It's a horror film that, again, it was a weird year that this somehow got a little bit of a theatrical release. It's a bit of an anti-vax movie as well. The effects are horrible. I don't usually make fun of the acting, but the acting is horrible because also on top of that, you just don't even get to know about these characters here. They kind of put too many characters that you don't care about or learn about. It is so bad here. I'm not a fan of this director. Dion Taylor's made usually some bad comedy movies that aren't comedies. This might be one of the worst, though. Yeah, this was bad. Look this up. I saw it on Stars. I had the month for 99 cents, and even watching, I want my 99 cents back.
Yeah.
I might have been on a different. I shouldn't. Am I better now?
A little bit, yeah. Your connection was getting choppy there for a second, but I caught that because
Okay.
I looked it up myself.
It sucks.
I looked up the director. Yeah, the director of Meet the Blacks and Meet the Blacks 2 does not give me confidence. Yeah, they made a good movie. Yeah, that's not good. I recognized the poster when I looked it up. I saw the poster somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say the same
In a
thing.
theater,
I-
personally.
But yeah, I didn't see this at my theater. It never got there, so I probably would have seen it because I saw everything in the theater this year. But yeah, I didn't see this one. It's on Stars now, I guess. But
I also like.
yeah,
I guess because he might not. I don't know if he's the main character. You can tell me that, but like the most recognizable star Ti is like Last Build.
I think he was also semi-canceled for a little while, so I don't know if they're trying to hide it. Because I don't know if I'd say number one, but it's an ensemble to a degree, so he's definitely up there.
okay. Gotcha. All right. I don't have much to add. I did not see it. I recognize the poster, but that's it. My number 2, I know a lot of people disagree with me. Some people had it on a whole other list. My number 2 is Wonka.
Yeah, I knew he was
Fucking hate Wonka. I fucking hated this movie with a passion. Yeah, I mean, I won't take too long ranting about it. But basically, yeah, if you drop the Willy Wonka character in Paddington World, this is what you get, and it makes sense because it is the Paddington director.
Yeah, now you're selling me on it.
No, but that's why I hate it, because I hate Paddington. So the fact that you dropped this Willy Wonka character into Paddington World, I'm not with it. This movie is what I like to call phony whimsy. It's just fake whimsy left and right. It's forced whimsy, where everybody is just, again, on completely different pages. I think Timothée Chalamet is in a completely different movie with all of his surrounding characters. It's got really bad writing, in my opinion, to where they explain every joke in the movie. Like, they think you're so stupid that they have to explain every single subtle joke that they do. I will give you 2 specific examples. There's a scene here where Keegan-Michael Key goes to meet with the cartel, and he mentions something about the poor, and the one guy like throws up in his mouth, after hearing the word. And then, that's a decent enough joke for what it is. And I get why he is. And then another character stops and goes, oh, he kind of throws up at even the thought of the idea of poor. And I go, yeah, I got it already. You don't have to say that. I got the joke. And they spell it out because they think you're stupid. So they explain the joke. When he first gets down to all the people in the laundry, they have a guy who is making jokes all the time and constantly trying to cheer people up with bad jokes. He's like the comedian of the group. So he does his little shtick, and I got his shtick. I get his character. And then somebody stops the movie and goes, he's always trying to make us laugh with bad jokes. I got it. Thank you. Thank you for spelling out the joke again for me. I appreciate that. I got the joke. Keegan-Michael Key also shows up later in the movie. He's gained a significant amount of weight from his chocolate eating, and he stops to go, yeah, I think I might have gained about 150 pounds. I know, I can see you. You've gained 150 pounds. Thank you for once again spelling out the joke for me that I already got. They think you're so stupid that they have to spell out every little bit. Um, I think the production design is just wacky. I don't know what world this is in to where like the thing that made Willy Wonka in the original, which is this one they've overtly said, Richie, this is supposed to be in the same universe as the Gene Wilder one. They have said that on record.
So
And the thing that makes Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory interesting is that you're in like a real world and you don't get to the wacky stuff until you get to the factory, and that's his brain come to life. And to me, like they're already in wacky land before they even get, do any of the chocolate stuff. Like they're already in wacky world in this movie, which makes no sense. So there's no sense of anything. There's just plot elements that don't make any sense. How are they even able to open a store with no money? How are they allowed to do that when there's a cartel that's explicitly said they're going to stop them at a return? Really bad subplots that don't go anywhere. The noodle character is unnecessary. She's out of she's out of Annie. I don't know why she's in this movie when she's never mentioned again. Bad songs. Timothée Chalamet's not a good singer. I could go on and on. I hated Wonka. I hated every stupid minute of this fake whimsy movie. So I did not like it.
Yeah, if it's in the same universe and he's meant to be like the younger Gene Wilder character, is he meant to be Gene Wilder? Like,
they have explicitly stated this is supposed to be the younger version of Gene Wilder in that same world. The producers have said that.
He's not. I don't believe that's Gene Wilder. I don't believe that's the same guy.
Also, Wonka is a complete dunce of a character. Like, how can he not read? That seems like that would impede your travels a lot if you couldn't read.
Yeah.
That's really, and that's a subplot that goes nowhere because he just shows up later and goes, "Oh, I learnned how to read." Okay, I guess we're done with that plot. Just moving on. Moving on.
I'm not a fan of it either. I mean, like, I'm not as passionate as you, but I'm not a fan of it either. And people, which baffles people. But like, there was like because, I mean, I don't mind whimsy, but it doesn't at least in like. But if your character is too happy to the point where it's not believable, it's a kind of annoying. It's like at least like in Barbie, right? I'll just use it to for example. Like they're all happy and jovial and nothing bothers them, but that's part of the world that's explained.
That they're in Barbie land, which is outside of our reality,
where nothing bad happens, and then they get into real world, and then they
start. But the real Wonka, or in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the '70s movie. Charlie is in a real world. He goes to a real school. He lives in a real poor house. He's really poor. He goes to a real candy shop. The other characters are like, they're kind of exaggerated in their caricatures, a kid who's addicted to TV or whatever, but they're not like that exaggerated. I know people like that. I buy the rich chick, as a little bitch, like rich chick. Like it's all very real. And then when you get to Wonka's factory, then it gets bizarre because it's all his brain come to life. But it's set in a real world. That's what makes it fun in the second half. This one, it's wacky from the beginning. Like all the characters are wacky. The production design is wacky. It's all just like it's like a combination of like a Tim Burton movie and a Harry Potter movie and Mr. Megorium's Wonderful Emporium and all that shit. Like
it's just like watching like stage characters. You know what I mean? Like it's just very over the top. Yeah, like I mean. I liked Olivia Colman. I think she's having fun, but it's just very over the top of being over the top. It's like and I like their dynamic with doing things against Tom Davies. I don't know. I want like if it hasn't established that like he's like if he's a proper human character, I want him to have human traits. Like cool, you can be positive and stuff, but I also if something shit happens, I want something to bother you. Don't so honestly, like I'm all for. I'm not like trying to like promote negativity or anything, but if I met someone that positive, I have met people that positive all the time, nothing bothers them. That freaks me out. If like, why are you positive all the time? There's something undercurrent there or something going on.
I think it's called projection, and it's actually they're not that happy, but they're projecting like they're happy all the time. Yeah, because people get bothered by shit. Life happens. You have bad days. It can happen. We've all had bad days, horrific days. I hated the forced whimsical nature of this whole movie, and boy, if they're going to continue this universe, I'm scared of what they're going to do with this. So it's okay, JPO. You can come back now. We're going to move on. So yeah.
I think it made money, so yeah, probably.
It's making money. I know. It's making money, so they're gonna make it.
Are we done making fun of Paddington?
I didn't make fun of Paddington. I made fun of. I said that was my setup for then bitching about the movie. I haven't mentioned Paddington since the
You
first
said you dislike it because it's from the Paddington makers.
But
I said if the premise is and it's true, is if you drop Wonka in Paddington World, that's what this movie is.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
For me, it's a nightmare, and it was a nightmare.
I had no interest. I didn't see this fucking thing.
Maybe you'll like it. Brian Nussbaum is like #1 of the year, so good for you. But yeah, no, I hated it.
I see what you're saying now, and it actually sounds like I feel like I'm gonna be what my fear was, and I won't like it because that was my fear.
I mean, make it. You're free to make up your own mind. I'm not saying if you liked it. If people out there liked it, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got something out of it. I didn't. I hated almost every second of this movie. So yeah. All right, we're into it now. #1, baby. We have reached it. Richie.
I mean, no points for guessing what mine is, but yeah, it's robots. I don't know.
Robin Williams cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah. That movie is that movie is Toy Story compared to.
Well, we all had this on the list, so we can go around and talk about robots. So kick us off, Richard. Yeah.
Romantic. I don't know what's happened in romantic comedies this year, but the biggest thing that you need to establish in a romantic comedy is believable chemistry. And I understand there's a trope of two and it's played out in the it's played out in the 90s, but two people meet and then initially they don't like each other, then they reach understanding and they realize, hey, we do like each other. I get that, but but if you're bickering throughout the whole movie and you establish yourselves as terrible people who just scamming people
really? A con man versus a con woman are two not likable characters? Really? You don't say.
Yourself as two not likable characters, and we're supposed to follow these characters. And then they literally bicker through the whole movie, and then there's this other trope which is annoying where they bicker through the whole movie, and then they think they're forced to team up at one point, and then they have this one good moment, and apparently that excuses every other moment where they had to every other moment where they were offside with each other. I'm like, hey, we had sort of one good moment. Maybe we should. Maybe there's a connection there. No, you just had a cool moment. We had to. You just had a cool moment where you bonded over something. That doesn't mean that you should be a couple. And then it's like, this is all halfway through I realized, okay, this will be on the list at some point. Okay, and I mean Shailene Woodley, I usually like okay, maybe he's good in Spectacular Now. I'm not a huge fan of the Divergent stuff, but I can understand that she's decent at that, and Jack Whitehall, I know he's sort of new to Hollywood movies, but he's been a stand-up in Britain for ages. I'm not the biggest fan of his stuff, but I can understand why people like him. But yeah, he's very unlikable here. But yeah, and there's just the subplot they try to set up at the start where it's this commentary on immigration, and I guess they're using I guess in this world because they got this Trump-esque person. I guess in this world robots are the Mexican the Mexican equivalent. And it's weird that doesn't really go anywhere. It's basic, and then I'm just gonna bring up at the end. But yeah, there's an unearned so you think, okay, yeah, these two robots that they send to kind of meet because he doesn't. That basically Jake Whitehall's character sends his sort of decoy robot out on dates so he can to gain enough chemistry so he can swoop in there and get laid, and so that was all that he did. Then just because they had their Shailene Woodley and Jake Whitehall's character had one moment. Apparently that's all good, and now instead of the two robots that should get together, have been trying to get married this whole time. They don't get married, and there's two people who don't like each other. They do not like each other. I do not believe they like each other. There's two people who don't like each other. Decide we're going to take their spot for them and get married. No, that's going to last a week. you're not compatible. Why did any? How did anybody come to your wedding? There should be someone who stopped that wedding from happening. That's just that's a bad future. You're not gonna. And I'm like that ending made me angry. Like I spent like 90 minutes you bickering for the whole fucking movie, and then you want me to believe that you're gonna be husband and wife. Fuck off.
Yeah. There you go. JPO.
I liked it. I really thought no.
I mean, I thought it was charming, delightful.
I should have teared at the end. No, I mean, first of all, you guys are welcome. I think I started this trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I the only thing I kept seeing was I'm on a couple of Reddit pages with like hot celebrity pages. Yeah, I'll do it because like just to see what's going on. And I just kept seeing the one thing with the Shailene Woodley like schoolgirl thing kept popping up over and over again. I was like, what movie is that? And then you told me it's like, oh, it's this shitty robots movie. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then you kept bringing it up, and I was like, oh man, maybe I should watch it. See how bad it is.
Here's a fun fact for you guys. Malcolm Lay thought it was pretty good, 3.5. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Anywho, love you, Malcolm. Yeah, first of all, these are two just shitty characters from the get-go. And hey, give me a shitty fun person to watch, Bad Santa, etc. I'll do it, but like this movie doesn't know what it fucking wants to be because they kind of try to set you up to make you fall for these two characters. Like you said, kind of had like one nice moment, and now we're supposed to kind of just rapidly change our view and want to root for them, and it's unearned. The ending where like they just get off real lickety split easily, it's like a big fuck you, like, oh, so there's no point of even running away or freaking out here. They're so unlikable. It's just not funny. You mentioned the political thing that they kind of touch upon, and they go, nah, never mind. No, we're just going back to shitty jokes. And
that was just the opening montage. We're not going to worry about that the rest of the movie.
Yeah, no. Like, why even bother touching on that? Just this was bad, man. And like Whitehall can be funny. Woodley, I don't know what the fuck she saw in this script or idea. My God.
Yeah, no, I don't have a whole lot to add. Y'all pretty much said everything. It's a miserable movie. The one bright spot is the Shailene Woodley robot doll with the schoolgirl outfit. That is like the one spot, and even that scene is weird and awkward because then it's like performing rape on the guy essentially. Like I don't want to say it, but it is. Like it's really awkward and weird. It's just a stupid premise. Yeah, with two con artist scam people who are just. Yeah, you don't buy a single minute of this. That political stuff which goes nowhere. They just forget about that, just move on. Not good. No, pretty damn miserable movie. So I don't know what everybody was thinking, but no, y'all said it already. So let's just move on. We're giving that movie way more attention than the people who made it did. So JPO, what's your number one?
I know it's not on your list, Pez, but it's certainly on mine. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I totally get it, though. I'm not against it.
I get it. I just thought I almost feel like I haven't seen. I just felt like if I did, I probably wouldn't have my list because I thought it was maybe low hanging fruit. So I thought it'd be obvious to be bad.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, Freddy's Fridays, I feel like is so under the radar and shitty and obviously a ripoff that I'm like, I won't even talk about that. This got like a theatrical run. This was talked about. This is on a major streamer like Peacock, so it's eligible as far as I'm concerned to be shit on. Okay, yeah, listen, if you just watch this like a normal movie, just one day alone, and I wanted to like it. I'm like, all right, give me maybe then, just slightly good horror, maybe one or two characters. The opening's the best part. It's a fun little animated opening explaining kind of like the lore. You know what I mean? Fucking Christopher Robin went away. They got fucking hungry and became evil and mad and cannibals and whatnot. So, okay, that tracks. You have a bunch of unlikable, forgettable, badly even like shot and edited too. I wanted to edit this movie. I mean, the fucking selfie scene in the tub takes fucking forever. Chasing the one girl in the pool is fucking forever. Like this thing just not know how to like be a nice quick edit. It's bad. Like, the costume is just kind of whatever. It obviously has a zero budget, zero in mind. The characters are annoying here. Christopher Robin's annoying as shit, just yelling the same shit over and over again. Why? Rocket, why? Why? Papa. It's just bad, man. I really wanted to like this to a degree, and I couldn't.
No, again, and I've explained, and just I'll just make it clear.
Yeah.
Like I saw it in theaters, and our audience was laughing and having a good time with it. So I feel like the atmosphere kind of bumped it up a couple of notches,
For
at
sure.
least for us. Like I totally get if you sit down and watch this movie, like just in your room on a TV and like by
my
yourself,
room on Peacock.
it's gonna be pretty miserable. Yeah, because like you're not gonna have that atmosphere. And I feel like most of the reviews I saw were probably people who got screeners or links or whatever, watched it on their laptop. And yeah, of course you're not gonna like it just watching by yourself on your laptop. I feel like I got the audience bump, so like I didn't hate it as much, and we all kind of got into the vibe of it. And we're just being silly with it, and just laughing at the bad line deliveries and how awkward everything was and the editing and all that stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm not, but I didn't have as miserable experience because my audience that night was ready for it, so it was fine. So yeah, that's the only reason it's on my list.
Here's to you, Mickey's Mousetrap.
I was going to say, be honest, Jake, you're totally going to watch the Bambi movie and the Mickey's Mousetrap, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm glad for Punchman. I'm going to keep going. And Winnie the Pooh too.
I'll watch them all. Yeah, I'll watch them all. I'll probably be in theaters for them. I'm sure I'll keep contributing to Jagged Edge, much to John Marr's chagrin. I'll keep contributing to their bank account. Just like keep making bad movies. Maybe just to contribute to his misery.
I shouldn't be because they probably had it set up. But like when it was announced that Mickey is public domain now, I was just like, and then like immediately like they had a trailer out. I was like, because I literally watched it. I'm like, dude, that was just announced like a couple of days ago. And then I'm like, yeah, it's like they probably had it in their back pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they knew when the date was that they filmed it, and just couldn't release the trailer until it was good and clear.
All right. So we are up to my number one.
Yeah,
give me a second. I need a second to write this.
Oh, Godzilla minus one.
No, oh man, no, hell no. All right. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 is my number one. I went with the actual one I thought was the absolute worst movie I saw.
Yeah. I get around to this, otherwise it would be on.
Oh my God, is this movie fucking horrendous? Jesus Christ. And look, you guys know how much this probably pains me to put this on my list because the first movie is in my top 64. I love that movie.
Oh, wow.
I think it's one of my favorite rom-coms. It avoids a lot of the cliches of rom-coms. They don't have the breakup period. You have two genuine characters who genuinely love each other the whole movie, who are in love and are just overcoming like the family issue. You know what I mean? And it's charming. The characters are fun. The writing is clever. Like, it's a story about some older people kind of getting together. So that's cool. Like everything's just charming about that movie. And yeah, good jokes, good setups, good payoffs. The second movie stinks, but like compared to this movie, man, I'll go back and probably think it's a masterpiece, man. They made a bad sitcom that only lasted like 7 episodes. If anybody remembers My Big Fat Greek Life, that was a bad sitcom. It should have just stopped there after the sitcom failed. It's like we should have just ended it there and just moved on with our lives. But they insisted on making a third one. I have contended this is the worst edited movie I may have seen in the theater in decades. This movie is horrendously edited to where scenes just start and stop with no connection. They just stop scenes like almost right in the middle of like dialogue, almost move on to another scene that has nothing to do with the previous scene, move on to another scene that has nothing to do with, the other scene. We just move from thing to thing to thing with no connection, a really bad script. Everybody's acting in this movie is like straight up like junior high drama class acting. It's really bad. John Corbett is like really happy to be there and happy to be in a movie, but he's just aloof and out of it. There's horrendous just gags that they repeat several times that don't work the first time. They get repeated 4, 5, 6 times throughout the rest of the movie. There's one with the brother where they keep cutting to him at the dinner table. Just he's always shaving at the dinner table with his razor, like with his electric razor. It wasn't funny the first time, and they do it like 5 more times in the movie. And it's just really lazy and bad. There's subplots that get introduced and corrected immediately that don't go anywhere. Really bad resolutions to a lot of the other subplots. Character decisions that don't make any sense. To where they're like mad at things they shouldn't be mad about. Like there's a whole people get mad about them like bringing the dad's like ashes to put on a tree doing exactly what he asked to do in the diary, and people are getting like mad about it. Like, why? That's what he asked. Isn't that what families do, especially loyal families, like to do people's wishes of what they want? Yeah, really paper thin plot stuff. I was just astonished at how low this franchise has gone. That shouldn't have been a franchise in the first place. It's a really, really bad movie. So please, this is one where I would actually encourage people to. You have to experience how horribly this thing is put together. Badly directed. I feel like the only redeeming qualities are some nice stock footage of Grease. You know, some really pretty shots. That's about it. Because this movie is a slog and a chore to get through, and just one of those put together mainstream movies I've ever seen. Just absolutely. I had to go. Like, Wonka made me mad. This made me mad in a different way of like how it even got there, and like how this even made it to screen. Like how somebody saw the finished cut, like especially the editing that I've talked about. How somebody saw the cut of this and goes, "Yeah, that makes sense. Put it in theaters," because none of it does. It's terrible. And another movie that ends in a wedding. That's bad. We've thrown up several of them. So tonight, yeah, no, not good.
Have you ever done like on Tournament Fights wedding films or you know?
I mean, you probably could, I guess, but or at least ones with big wedding scenes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I didn't know the Outlaws. So I guess that also has a wedding scene, right? Or so was something wrong with the wedding. So that's another one.
Do we get to the wedding?
I don't know. I don't know if we actually.
I saw something about the wedding in the plot, but I mean, at least there's something.
No, they're engaged. That's why they meet the parents finally.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you ever get to the wedding.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's weird because like in like the first one isn't, obviously it's Nia Vidal. Nia Vidal's like, baby. It's a thing. The first one's received so well. You're like, okay, well. She knows what she's doing. The sequel, might not be as good, but it'll be, surely can't. Then that's bad. And it's like, what the hell happened between? Like, did she just get less funny over time? Like, how does?
Yeah, she directs this one too, and it's very poorly directed. You could tell. Like, I don't know if she knows what she's doing or what. Like, it's not good. Yeah.
I think there's always a difference too between a passion project that was championed by Tom Hanks. He was a producer on the original one, like the script and whatnot, and then this, which is just simply, well, the first two make money, and I don't know, we can do a third that'll probably get some money. You know what I mean? Like, there's no soul beneath it.
But we got no idea of what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll take whatever script. The first one was a script from the heart. It was a passion project. This one is just simply, let's do a third one.
Let's do it.
But how's Joey Fatone though, Paz? Is he good?
See, he pops up halfway through the movie, and he's charming enough in that first one. Again, the couple of scenes, he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but he's he has some memorable stuff where he's doing the hey, we're gonna kill you, like that's the him and the brother like joking on John Corbett in the movie, like it's fun. This one, they literally get called in, Skyped in, like, and get told, hey, you guys want to be in this movie and like come do like a dumb subplot where you're trying to find the one other guy we're trying to find, and then him and the Nikki chick from the first movie like team up to go find this guy, and they do it in literally one montage. They do one montage, they find the dude, they show up at the end. That's it. Again, subplots introduced and resolved just as quickly that have no consequence to anything. It's just we forgot to do this part of the movie, so just do a montage of them like poking their heads in and out, and they resolve it super easily. No tension whatsoever. Yeah, this is one where I would be curious if you guys actually eventually did come around to it, because it is on Peacock now. I started. I'm not saying
and then I decided to do something else.
Yeah, well, you probably made the right decision, but if you decide to finish it,
it's available on Amazon to rent or buy, but I don't want to pay money to watch.
No, don't pay money to watch it. If it shows up free somewhere, watch it. But don't.
It's on the cock. That's why I started it.
Yeah, don't pay. I'm astonished at how poorly made this movie is technically. So, I had to go with the actual worst movie I saw, technically speaking, as well, and all the pieces, and that's my Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. So I was shocked shocked and dismayed, but all right, well, let's wrap this thing up, and we'll run down each of our lists one more time, just for the folks watching or listening. You guys want to do that real quick if you have it handy? Richie, you want to run down your list real quick from 12 to 1?
Yeah, okay. Number 12, House Party. Number 11, Cocaine Bear. Number 10, Five Nights at Freddy's. Number 9, Shotgun Wedding. Number 8, Hypnotic. Number 7, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Number 6, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Number 5, Love Again. Number 4, Exorcist Believer. Number 3, The Outlaws. Number 2, Meg 2, The Trench. Number 1, Robots.
All right, that's a lot of shit. JPO, 12 movies for you. All right.
Here's some more shit for you. Number 12,
A
Quasi.
lot of streaming shit. Yeah.
Yeah, wait, actually,
Yeah,
real
no,
quick.
yours is a lot of streaming shit.
2, technically 4 in theaters. Number 12. Number 12, Quasi. Number 11, House Party. Number 10, Expendables. Number 9, Shotgun Wedding. Number 8, The Outlaws. Number 7. Oh, did I fuck these numbers up? 5, 6, 7. No, 7, Simulant. 6, Your Place or Mine. 5, Office Race. 4, Buddy Games 2, Spring Awakening. 3, Robots. 2, Fear, ? According to the poster. And number 1, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
It stinks.
My number 12 is Hypnotic. My number 11 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And my number 10 is The Nun 2. Number 9 is Exorcist Believer. Number 8 is The Little Mermaid. My number 7 is Robots. My number 6 is Fool's Paradise. Number 5 is the House Party remake. My number 4 is The Marvels. Number 3 is Love Again. My number 2 is Wonka. And my number 1 is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. So yeah, we had some crossovers, but we got to showcase some other stinkers, kind of here and there. So again, I want to stress, I thought 2023 was actually a pretty good year for movies. I saw a lot of really good movies here, but again, there's always going to be bad movies every year. You watch stuff.
I've already watched one, so
several this year already. But I mean, there's always going to be bad ones, but we like to talk about bad movies. We watch a lot of bad movies. We're all gluttons for punishment. It's just what we do. And so, you got to have something for the other list at the end of the year. But I promise you, we will we will be getting a little bit better as we will talk about here in the plugs as I kind of talk about what's coming up here on the channel. But speaking of plugs, let's go around the horn and get some plugs from you guys where we can find you. JPO, where can we find you? What you got to go on the Pierce Co. and all your other stuff?
Sincerely, when I'm not popping up on here, like on Thursdays, Lonely Marks, or of course on Tournament Fights. So you'll see me soon on Tournament Fights this week as well. Including me versus Malcolm is happening pretty soon on our TV shows. That'd be a fun one. The Pierce Co, as you mentioned, we're starting the singles tournament, trying to get that along. It's been a bitch scheduling those, but hey, we'll figure it out sooner or later. As well as just normal trivia too. We're still doing normal trivia on top of the tournament, so feel free to sign up for those. As well as Pierce Wrestling, trying to get Chris Cass is kind of like our Roman Reigns. He'll be defending his championship, I think sometime this week or next week. See if someone can topple Chris Cass, as well as other places too. Multiplex, just signing for my next match. The what was it? Their big ticket tournament and whatnot. Going to be a part of that. And other channels, Malcolm stuff. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being on. Appreciate it. I know I can always count on you for some bad picks.
Hey, 145. I had 145 from last year.
I'm still updating 1 or 2 because I'm still waiting to see American Fiction and possibly The Zone of Interest before the year's up. I'm trying to get to those.
What's the last one you said? Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest. The other one is getting like awards stuff, but it's kind of hard to find. It's still in like limited release. I'm hoping it comes out before the end of the year, but I don't know if it will.
It's a movie about like the family that lives near a concentration camp.
Yeah, I watched Anyone But You, so that counted for last year, and May, December. I'm up to 110, so I broke my 100. So I was happy I broke 100.
That was my only goal.
Yeah, no, my goal was always just 100, and I broke it, so I'm happy about
that. Now I
just
need 97 more, and I'm there for this year.
I know, yeah, I've got 3 so far for this year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, because I'm counting the mystery movie I saw as this year instead of last year, so even though it had a festival thing last year, Origin, the Ava DuVernay movie, so I'm gonna count it as this year.
I just talked to Ross about that too. I told Ross I would count it as 24.
I'm gonna count it as 2024. It was this year's mystery movie, so that's what I'm counting as. But anyways, Richie, what you got going on?
yeah, you can catch me on the best of one when we do the best of. So it's be a harder list to actually, there's a couple of movies that I haven't seen that are out here now that I'll get around to, like The Holdovers.
Good stuff.
That I need to put on. I'm guessing might make my list because that's up my alley. And then PSCO. I'll be on Tournament Fights tomorrow talking about the TV stuff. I've seen enough TV, just not more of a film go, but I've seen enough TV to contribute, so that should be fun. Lonely Marks. I think we're doing a tier ranker of the Royal Rumbles from the 2000s. JPO and I might briefly touch on Hard to Kill as well. Impact, just briefly, we both watched it. Pretty good show.
Yeah,
Pretty good show.
I was worried when the first two signings were Top Dollar and Dana Brooke, but it got better.
I did see the clip of I guess Nick Nemus there now, so I did see that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I was like,
right,
big, please. It's just Dana Brooke. No
Yeah.
offense. I'm happy for her.
Zaya Brookside's there too, and she's cool. I mean, she's charming.
No, she's cool.
But yeah, they were good. Good matches. Good crowd. Hopefully, it'd be nice if they get
Save it for Thursday.
But yeah,
no more wrestling talk for tonight. That's
anyway. Go, good crowd. So check that out, and I'm all you can catch me around the other spaces as well. Full Metal. I think that's coming up as well. Full Metal Random. I'll be helping out there in this year as well. So check that out. And
as far as the immediate future for the Movie Hero Network, I'll be taking the reins this week for the two tournaments we got going on this week. I'll be hosting Malcolm versus JPO and their favorite TV shows. It'll be a good time. I just finished kind of the final list for those, so I'll be making the bracket for that. That'll be a good time. I've actually seen most of the shows on the list, so I'm happy about that. A good chunk of them. So what helps when Malcolm has a lot of 90s stuff on there that I've seen, so that helps.
Malcolm's gonna fucking win. God damn it.
Yeah. Hey, I don't like every 90s thing, but I've seen a lot of them. And then Friday, tournament fights, we got another versus. It'll be Johnny Depp versus Gary Oldman. Both those guys have a lot of really good movies on there, so that should be pretty interesting. And then as a direct kind of counter to tonight's programming, the week after, we will finally be getting to kind of our 2023 wrap-up. So the 3-part 2023 tournament. It'll be the 22nd, 23rd, and the 26th, part 1, 2, and 3 of 2023. Basically all the movies that came out, most of them, since we got 128, pretty much everything will be in those tournaments, and we'll determine which ones wins those. And then, as Richie alluded to, 2 weeks from tonight, both these guys will also join us for our best of 2023, so we can actually talk some good movies and counter program to that. So that'll be a lot of fun to see what everybody has on their list. And that'll be a good time. So I'm very much looking forward to those shows. We'll talk a little more positive when we get there. But hey, some of the movies we talked about tonight are in that 2023 tournament, so we can bag on them one more time as they come up in those tournaments. I'm sure if we like, because like them or not, some of them made money. The franchise movies, whatever have whatever you got, they'll be in there. So that'll be interesting. But that'll do it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. I had a good time with this. Always fun to kind of bag on some bad movies and have a good time. So for JPO, for Richie, I am Austin Pez Howell, and thank you for joining us. And I'll just leave you with this.
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell